Chapter 34. I really forgot about that. Senior brother, why didn't you bring a storage belt? Night Sorrow looked at Gong Xian's waist and did not see a storage belt. This, senior brother has this. It's a storage ring. This is the reward I got from completing a heaven rank sect mission. Little 13, your ring is not bad either. It'll be better if you change to a storage ring in the future. Gong Xian showed his storage ring and said to Night Sorrow. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. He did not want others to know that he had a storage ring. If his acquaintances knew, they would think that he was showing off. If strangers knew, he would be in danger. Night Sorrow still remembered Yu Yangyu's words, don't show off your wealth. You have to work harder. I heard that Wang Yun Peak and Tian Yu Peak both have outer sect disciples who have entered the element gathering realm. They have not become inner sect disciples yet because they are waiting for the annual sect competition, Gong Xian said. Eldest senior brother, do you mean that those who have entered the element gathering realm are all inner sect disciples? Night Sorrow thought for a while and asked. Yes, but inner sect disciples are also divided into different grades and ranks. Some outer sect disciples have low aptitudes. Even if they become inner sect disciples, they will not be accepted as disciples. Even if they become inner sect disciples, they will still be wandering ghosts. Next are those who will be accepted as disciples by the enforcers and guardians during the disciple recruitment ceremony. Those who enter the enforcers and guardians will have someone to rely on and are considered mid-level inner sect disciples. Others are the direct disciples of the various peak masters. Those are the upper class of the inner sect disciples, Gong Xian said with a smile. H1, then I am considered an upper class inner sect disciple, Night Sorrow said with a smile. You are not an inner sect disciple. We are the disciples of the peak masters, so we are the elite disciples. Tang Tian and Chu Ning are the upper class inner sect disciples. After saying the first half of the sentence, Gong Xian saw that Night Sorrow was in a daze, so he threw out the second half of the sentence and then laughed loudly. Elite disciple. It feels pretty good. Night Sorrow tidied up his robe. Little 13, elite disciples are also divided into different levels. Gong Xian hesitated for a moment before speaking. After listening to Gong Xian's explanation, Night Sorrow finally had a real understanding of the level of Medicine Valley's disciples. The Peak Master's disciples were all elite disciples. In addition, the disciples of the Medicine Valley who had entered the Yuan ranking and the Elixir ranking would also enter the ranks of elite disciples regardless of their level. Elite disciples were also divided into 3 levels: human, king, and heaven. Energy gathering realm elite disciples were the most common. Core condensation realm elite disciples who could enter the pill rankings were human realm elite disciples. Those who could enter the top 10 of the pill rankings were king realm elite disciples. In addition, there was a heaven ranking that outsiders and outer sect disciples did not know about. It was a ranking for the spirit severing stage disciples. Those who could get into the top 10 of the heaven ranking were heaven stage elite disciples. What if the rankings change? What if the top 10 this time is kicked out by someone next time? Night Sorrow asked. If the top 10 of the pill rankings are kicked out, they will become human realm elite disciples. If they are kicked out of the pill rankings, they will become ordinary elite disciples. If the top 10 of the spirit severing stage are kicked out, they will become king realm disciples. Only 10 people in the spirit severing stage can become heaven stage disciples. If they are in the top 10 of the heaven ranking before the spirit severing stage, they will always be heaven stage disciples. If they are no longer heaven stage disciples, then after the spirit severing stage, they will be heaven stage disciples in the future. Gong Xian explained to Night Sorrow in detail. These are still far away from me. Night Sorrow shook his head and said. Indeed. Let's not talk about this anymore. Get ready and come to my place tomorrow. I will send you, Tang Tian, and Chu Ning. Gong Xian stood up and said. Night Sorrow sent Gong Xian away and continued to cultivate the wind-chasing spear art. After cultivating for a night, Night Sorrow brought Tianyu to Gong Xian's residence. Senior brother, I am going to cultivate in the spirit-gathering array. No one is taking care of my Tianyu. He doesn't trust them. Can you help me look after him? This guy is really handsome. Gong Xian wanted to touch Tianyu, but Tianyu dodged. His golden eyes were glowing as he stared at Gong Xian. Tianyu, I will be leaving for a while. Stay here for a while. Trust in my senior brother. Night Sorrow reached out and touched Tianyu's neck. After Night Sorrow finished speaking, Gong Xian reached out to touch Tianyu. Tianyu did not resist. Master, 13th uncle is here too. After arriving at Gong Xian's residence, Tang Tian greeted Gong Xian and helplessly nodded to Night Sorrow. After a while, Chu Ning also arrived. Like Tang Tian, she was unwilling to greet Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was younger than them, but his seniority was higher. It was not that he was unwilling, but this matter came too suddenly. Gong Xian brought Night Sorrow and the other two to the back of Tai Xian Hole. This was an ancient forest. In the middle of the ancient forest was an open space with many stone platforms. A few elders stood in front of the stone platforms. Yu Yangyu was there as well. Wu Qi, Huanan, and Yang Lei were also there. Greetings to Master, martial uncles, and elders. Gong Xian bowed to Yu Yangyu and the others. Night Sorrow, Tang Tian, and Chu Ning also bowed to greet. Taishan Peak's spirit gathering array had not been activated for many years. This was because the spirit gathering array was not very effective for high-level cultivators. In addition, it consumed a lot of energy. It was not worth it at all. It was only effective for nurturing new cultivators. In a while, all of you will sit on the stone platforms and cultivate. You will be given 1 month. Whoever has the best cultivation effect will be rewarded with a spirit gathering pill. Yu Yangyu said. Then, Yu Yangyu explained to Night Sorrow and the others how the effect was determined by the height of the stone platform. The stone platform was called the spirit gathering platform. If one sat on it and cultivated, the spirit gathering platform would provide a steady stream of energy to the cultivator. The more spirit chi one absorbed, the higher the platform would rise. The height of the rise depended on the amount of spirit chi one absorbed. At this time, Gong Xian glared at Chu Ning and Tang Tian. Others might not understand, but Night Sorrow understood the meaning of his gaze. If they did not perform well, then they would have to wait and see. Night Sorrow did not know much about Gong Xian's tricks, but Night Sorrow had seen it with his own eyes. Work hard in your cultivation. There is no danger here. How much spirit chi you can absorb depends on you. When you are about to break through, be careful. Go up. Yu Yangyu warned them and waved his hand to let Night Sorrow and the others go up. Night Sorrow and the others walked up to the spirit gathering platform and sat down cross-legged. On this side, Yu Yangyu and the others retreated. Then, a few other old men shot a shining stone into the surroundings of the spirit gathering platform. Night Sorrow knew that it was a spirit stone. When Tai Tsung threw a fist-sized stone into the ground, a white mist rose in a 2-mile radius around the spirit gathering platform. Night Sorrow and the others were shrouded in the white mist. Seeing such a scene, Night Sorrow sat down and began to cultivate. This time, he did not eat the spirit congealing pill or the blood essence pill. He noticed that Yu Yangyu said that the amount of spirit chi one could absorb depended on themselves. This meant that the energy here was very abundant. With the operation of the sacred cauldron scripture and the myriad Tao tome, the energy around Night Sorrow was directly absorbed by Night Sorrow. This caused the white mist around Night Sorrow to thin out a lot, but it was soon replenished. Chapter 35. 1,000 miles west of the Medicine Valley's Danding Peak, there was a tall peak called Tianhua Peak. It was one of the 12 peaks of the Medicine Valley. In a loft on top of a small peak 100 miles north of Tianhua Peak, Qin Zhan was lecturing Qin Hai. This time, Master applied for an extra spot in the spirit gathering formation from the Peak Lord. You have to seize it. If you can break through to the Yuan gathering realm, then you can become Master's disciple and become the third-generation disciple of Tianhua Peak. Qin Hai, who was originally at the 8th level of Qi refining, had already entered the 9th level of Qi refining after taking the pill given by Qin Zhan after more than a month of cultivation. Qin Zhan's master, Luo Daoyuan, had told Qin Zhan that as long as Qin Hai could enter the Yuan gathering realm this year, he could become his disciple. Luo Daoyuan was the representative of Tianhua Peak during the disciple recruitment ceremony. He liked Qin Hai's unscrupulous methods and his ruthlessness. Night sorrow, I must kill him. If it wasn't for Qin Zhan stopping me, I would have killed him on the way. Qin Hai not only hated Night sorrow, but also Qin Zhan. Third uncle is the disciple of the North Peak Lord and is valued by the 6th elder of the main peak. That's why he can establish a foothold in Red Flame City. If we work hard, we can also establish a second Qin clan. We don't have to listen to others. Qin Zhan said coldly. Big brother, don't worry. I understand. Qin Hai nodded. You don't understand. This is your chance. If you can enter the Yuan gathering realm and become Master's disciple, then you can participate in this year's newcomer competition. If you can get a good result in the newcomer competition, then you will be noticed by the higher-ups of the Medicine Valley. It will be very useful for your future development. Qin Zhan said. Big brother, do I have a chance in the newcomer competition when I'm in the Yuan gathering realm? Qin Hai was a little uncertain. Of course. The participants of the newcomer competition are all disciples who entered the sect during the disciple recruitment ceremony. There are also outer sect disciples. The highest cultivation of outer sect disciples is the Yuan gathering realm. Once you enter the Yuan gathering realm, then you will be an inner sect disciple. Therefore, as long as you enter the Yuan gathering realm, there won't be any problem in getting the top few places. Qin Zhan nodded and said. It was the same at the Wangyun Peak. The Peak Lord's eldest disciple, Lu Jing, also held a meeting with the disciples to discuss the issue of the annual competition. This time, when the spirit gathering array of the Wangyun Peak was activated, not only did the inner sect disciples enter, there were also 2 outer sect disciples. These 2 outer sect disciples' cultivation had both entered the element gathering realm. However, because of the sect's competition, Lu Jing did not report this to the sect's examination hall. If he did, then these 2 disciples would become inner sect disciples and would not be able to participate in the newcomer competition. Square root. On Taishan Peak, Night Sorrow was silently cultivating. He had already forgotten everything and entered a deep meditative state. Energy flowed continuously into his body. What he needed to do was to refine and refine, turning the energy of heaven and earth into his own. His cultivation speed is twice as fast as others. What kind of cultivation technique is he cultivating? Wu Qi looked at Night Sorrow's location with some shock. If he's not our junior brother and is an outsider, I will definitely capture him and torture him to find out what's going on. Hua Nan stroked his beard and said. That's right, let's not talk about it. Second junior brother, third junior brother, keep an eye on him. Little 13's treasure, that demonic bird Tianyu, is with me. If I don't go back, there will be trouble. Thinking of Night Sorrow's Tianyu, Gong Xian was a little anxious. His residence only had a few servants who didn't have much cultivation. If Tianyu went crazy, it would be a tragedy. Don't worry, senior brother. Second senior brother and I will watch over here. Nothing will happen. Hua Nan nodded. Gong Xian glanced at the spirit gathering array again and left. Eldest senior brother, this time, the pavilion closest to the water enjoys the moonlight first. Out of the 13 people who came, he left behind the 3 most outstanding ones. Apart from 13, Chu Ning and Tang Tian's aptitudes are very good. It's really depressing. Qing Ji reached out and brushed her hair as she spoke. 6th senior sister, senior brother didn't choose them. It was master's orders. Also, if you want to talk about depressing, it's not senior sister's turn. 13 was taken in by master, but senior brother didn't get him. A few days ago, when I went to the main peak to receive the resources for the 3rd generation disciples of Taishan Peak, I saw Chu Ling Xiao. He asked me how Chu Ning was doing here. Only then did I know that Chu Ning was the most outstanding disciple of this generation of the Chu family. Chu Ling Xiao originally wanted to keep him at the main peak, but you know what happened. Yang Lei said with a smile. Good. It's good that bastard Chu is depressed. Let him be depressed to death. Aoi cursed. She had competed with Chu Ling Xiao in the arena before. In the end, Aoi lost. The tendons in her legs were injured by Chu Ling Xiao's fist, so she was happy to hear that Chu Ling Xiao was depressed. Old 6, let's forget about the past. Didn't senior brother help you vent your anger? Hua Nan said. I just can't stand his sanctimonious behavior. Aoi coldly snorted. Fine. If there's a chance, 3rd senior brother will fight to the death with him and help you vent your anger. He has to pay the price for bullying our old 6, Hua Nan said. 3rd senior brother, I'm just saying. Just saying it will make you feel better. Aoi shook her head. She knew that Hua Nan cared about her and didn't want her to be wronged. However, Aoi knew that in the entire Taishan Peak, only Gong Xian could defeat Chu Ling Xiao. Even Hua Nan and Yang Lei, who were the strongest after Gong Xian, couldn't defeat Chu Ling Xiao. At most, both sides would suffer. After all, Chu Ling Xiao was the first disciple of the Medicine Valley's main peak. For the Taishan Peak to be able to do this was already very domineering. Yes, 3rd senior brother knows what to do. Hua Nan nodded. He knew that Chu Ling Xiao didn't do anything wrong. He was a good person. However, if Aoi was wronged, he would stand up for her. Senior brother, senior sister, I feel a chill in my gums when I feel 13's energy absorption speed. He's only in the 6th stage of qi refining. How big can his dantian be? Yang Lei said as she looked in the direction of the spirit gathering platform. Don't worry. I've already checked. The speed and amount of energy he absorbs are very stable. This means that he can refine and absorb the energy into his body. Wu Qi, who had been silent all this time, finally spoke. Gong Xian had left. As the 2nd senior brother, he was responsible for the safety of this place. He didn't chat with Hua Nan and the others. Instead, he observed the 13 people in the spirit gathering formation. Because there was danger in the first 3 days, they would be safe after the first 3 days. At the very least, there wouldn't be any problems due to advancing rashly. Eldest senior brother and 12 shouldn't be as abnormal as him, Aoi said. Yes, there's still plenty of time. If you're worried about your disciples, then meditate and cultivate, Wu Qi said to his junior brothers and sisters beside him. Hearing Wu Qi's words, Hua Nan and the others all sat down cross-legged. However, no one really cultivated. Night Sorrow and the others came to Taishan Peak. It was the first time in recent years that the Taishan Peak had accepted people. It was also the first time they had accepted a disciple. Since it was the first time they had accepted a disciple, they were all very worried. Chapter 36. 13. That strange bird is really hard to please. It wants to eat cooked food, and after eating, it also wants to drink wine. You didn't find anything for it, did you? It even broke a wine jug by itself. I've never seen such a strange bird, Gong Xian muttered as he appeared. Eldest senior brother, you're back so quickly, Aoi greeted. You don't have to be so nervous, right? It's just entering the spirit gathering formation once. The worst that can happen is the energy entering the body and damaging the meridians. What's wrong with that? Gong Xian glanced at Wu Qi and the others. He didn't know why they were so nervous. There won't be any serious consequences, but if they fail, they'll lose an opportunity. It'll be a huge blow to them, Aoi said. Then you guys can be nervous. I'll drink. Gong Xian took out a jug of wine and slowly drank it. Eldest senior brother, you can relax. If something happens to little 13, let's see how you'll explain it to Master, Yang Lei said as she glanced at Gong Xian. Cough. This is really a big matter. If we delay little 13, Master will definitely be angry. Hearing Yang Lei's words, Gong Xian choked on his wine. He wasn't worried about his two disciples, because if they failed, they would just lose an opportunity to increase their cultivation. But if something happened to Night Sorrow, then Yang Yu would definitely deal with him. Gong Xian, Wu Qi, and the others all calmed down. No one cultivated, and they were all carefully observing the situation inside the spirit gathering formation. On the spirit gathering platform, Night Sorrow was rapidly circulating the sacred cauldron scripture and the myriad Tao tome, absorbing all the energy coming from the spirit gathering platform into his body. As long as the spirit gathering platform provided energy, Night Sorrow would absorb it all. This allowed Night Sorrow's true chi cultivation and physical strength to rapidly increase. In the blink of an eye, 2 days had passed. Night Sorrow's chi cultivation had reached the mid-6th stage of the chi refining realm and his myriad Tao tome had reached the peak of the 4th stage of the blood refining realm. If Night Sorrow could not break through, then his body would not be able to continue absorbing energy. Only by leveling up could he continue to improve. This situation caused Night Sorrow to wake up from his meditation. After waking up, Night Sorrow examined his body and decided to make a breakthrough. He couldn't waste this opportunity to increase his cultivation. In order for the myriad Tao's tome to break through smoothly, Night Sorrow stopped cultivating the holy cauldron scripture and sped up the energy in his body. Under such circumstances, the speed at which Night Sorrow absorbed energy slowed down. After all, without his dantian to refine energy, it was equivalent to absorbing half of the energy. This situation was immediately known to the 10 people outside. This was the reason why she could cultivate the heaven-covering hand. After she entered the Medicine Valley, she heard Yang Yu talk about body tempering. However, after learning the basics of the heaven-covering hand, Yang Lei worked hard to cultivate true qi, using true qi to increase the power of the heaven-covering hand. Nowadays, the mainstream cultivation method was true qi cultivation. One reason was that body-tempering cultivation methods were extinct. Another reason was that body-tempering cultivation methods were difficult to achieve if one didn't cultivate it to the peak. Therefore, no one would touch such a thankless cultivation method. His true qi cultivation speed is also very fast. This doesn't affect him at all. It's good that he's cultivating a body-tempering cultivation method. This way, he can also cultivate Master's heaven-covering hand, Yang Yu's 7th disciple said. Sigh, it's not like you don't know. I once read an ancient book. During the Great War of the Investiture of the Gods, the most dazzling person was the King of Fighters, Li Feng. He cultivated his body to an extremely strong state. Swords and spears couldn't hurt him. He could kill opponents of the same level with just a crash, Gong Xian said with a sigh. Times are changing. Body tempering has been eliminated. Now, alchemy is the world, Zhou Jing said. It's not eliminated. It's mainly because the inheritance has been broken. Things will move in the opposite direction when they reach an extreme. Who knows when body-tempering cultivators will appear again? Gong Xian didn't quite agree with Zhou Zhang's words. After hearing Gong Xian's words, Zhou Zhang didn't say anything. Although he felt that his thoughts weren't wrong, he had to listen to Gong Xian's opinion because Gong Xian wouldn't harm him. Gong Xian's attention was currently focused on the spirit gathering array. He discovered that Night Sorrow's energy absorption speed had increased again, which worried him. As his cultivation stabilized at the 5th level of the blood refining realm, Night Sorrow's energy absorption speed had increased again. This was also the reason why Gong Xian was so nervous. After being nervous for a while, Gong Xian discovered that Night Sorrow's body was very stable and relaxed. The other 12 added together aren't as worrisome as him, Gong Xian said after letting out a sigh of relief. Eldest senior brother is afraid that master will get angry. Yang Lei said with a smile. If master wants to scold us, then so be it. I just don't want master to be sad. What happened to the 12th was a huge blow to master. The same goes for all of you. In the future, be careful when you go out to gain experience. You are all master's favorite, Gong Xian said in a low voice. After hearing Gong Xian's words, even the most active Yang Lei didn't say anything. She could understand Gong Xian's words. Yu Yang Yu was their master. Not only did he guide them in their cultivation, he also gave them fatherly love. Chapter 37. After entering Taishan Peak, Night Sorrow and the rest of the 13 people worked hard to cultivate. Their cultivation improved very quickly. After cultivating in the spirit gathering array for a while, they all reached the threshold of a breakthrough. Tang Tian and Chu Ning were the first to break through to the 9th level of qi refining. Night Sorrow was next. He had reached the peak of the 6th level of qi refining and had awoken from his meditative state. He examined his body and discovered that it was not that his body was not strong enough, but rather that he had reached a bottleneck in his cultivation. Thus, he decided to break through. If he meditated for too long, his body would not be able to keep up, and he would have to eat fasting pills. Now, Night Sorrow was not a problem with his body, but rather, he was on the verge of a breakthrough. There wasn't much difficulty in breaking through to the qi refining stage. The main thing was the accumulation of true qi. As long as one had enough true qi, breaking through to the next stage was a matter of course. Night Sorrow stopped cultivating the myriad Dao's treasured tome. His Dantian absorbed as much energy as possible, expanding and increasing the volume of his Dantian. Along with the impact of the huge energy, coupled with the originally saturated true qi trembling violently, Night Sorrow's Dantian expanded by a circle. Outside the original 6 circles of light, a new circle of light slowly formed, rotating together with the previous 6 circles of light. The formation of the 7th true qi circle was the symbol of entering the 7th stage of qi refining. Now that Night Sorrow's Dantian had enough capacity, what he needed to do was to condense the 7th true qi circle. The 7th true qi circle had already appeared, what Night Sorrow needed to do was to stabilize it. After 4 hours, Night Sorrow stabilized the 7th ring of light in his Dantian. The appearance and stability of this ring of light was a sign that Night Sorrow had entered the 7th layer of qi refining. After entering the 7th level of qi refining, the speed at which Night Sorrow's Dantian absorbed energy increased slightly. 2 months, In just 2 months, he went from the 4th layer of the qi refining realm to the 7th layer of the qi refining realm. This speed has never been seen before in the Medicine Valley, Gong Xian said excitedly. LQ unique, the original version, the other 4's, V is a pirated version. At this rate, Little 13th has a high chance of participating in the rookie competition after cultivating for half a year, said Zhou Zhang. He now has a Tier 2 combat skill. Not to mention the newcomers, the other peaks don't have any. The outer disciples of the other peaks will find it difficult to contend with him. Even if there is someone who can contend with 13, it will be someone from our Taishan peak, Gong Xian said with a smile. That's right. None of the 12 newcomers of the third generation are rookies. Our disciples must be stronger than that bastard's disciple from the main peak. Qing Ji's face was originally smiling, but it soon turned into anger. Sixth senior sister, don't worry. That's for sure, Yang Lei said. A month had passed, and the spirit stones under the spirit gathering array had been used up. The white fog slowly dissipated, and the spirit gathering platform appeared in front of Gong Xian and the others. The 13 platforms were of different heights, and the most eye-catching one was the spirit gathering stone near the front, on which sat Night Sorrow. At this time, Night Sorrow and the others had all woken up because the energy had stopped. Everyone looked left and right, and then looked at themselves. Then, their expressions changed. Everyone's spirit gathering stones were of different heights. Not only were the heights different, the difference was too big. Night Sorrow's spirit gathering stone was the tallest, and his body was 1/3 taller than everyone else. This proved that Night Sorrow had absorbed more energy than them. Other than Night Sorrow's spirit gathering stone being the tallest, it was Chu Ning, Tang Tian, and Nangong Dai. The three of them were about the same height, and the other 9 people were about the same height. You've all advanced to the next level. Not bad. 13, here's a spirit gathering pill. Yu Yangyu appeared. He didn't judge who had the tallest spirit gathering stone and directly gave the spirit gathering pill to Night Sorrow. It was obvious who had the highest spirit gathering stone, and if he said it out loud, it would hurt the others' confidence. Thank you, Master. Night Sorrow nodded his head. And don't blindly pursue cultivation speed. Your foundation needs to be stable. If there's anything you don't understand, go to Repose Cliff to find me. Yu Yangyu nodded his head at Night Sorrow and left. He originally wanted to return to the bamboo forest to cultivate, but Aoi and the others dragged him to the secluded forest. The others also went. It was like a gathering of the second and third generation disciples under Yu Yangyu. Only Mo Lin was missing. No one asked Night Sorrow about his cultivation. They just drank and chatted. Before Night Sorrow and the others went to the Taishan Peak, Gong Xian and the others often drank tea together, so everyone's relationship was very good. The Taishan Peak was famous for its unity. Little 13, you drank 2 bowls of wine. Nothing's wrong. How about you drink with me from a jar? Night Sorrow's 8th senior brother, Shi Tianlin, looked at Night Sorrow and said. Okay, since senior brother wants to drink, junior brother will drink. Night Sorrow nodded his head and said. 13, don't mind your 8th senior brother. He's the only one who drinks and holds a jar. Yang Lei pulled Night Sorrow and said. 9th junior sister, this is your fault. 13 is a man. A man should eat meat and drink wine. You think 13 can't drink? Shi Tianlin took a jar of wine and placed it in front of Night Sorrow. 9th senior sister, if 8th senior brother is happy, I will drink with him. It's okay. Night Sorrow looked at Yang Lei gratefully. He knew that Yang Lei cared about him. Okay, then don't drink if you don't feel good. Senior brother, are you just going to watch 8th senior brother bully 13? Yang Lei looked at Gong Xian. Sigh, he asked for it. What can I do about it? Gong Xian shook his head and sighed. Senior brother, you're also bullying 13. Aoi also spoke. Junior sisters, we still don't know who's the wolf and who's the sheep. Just watch. Gong Xian whispered to Aoi and Yang Lei. Others didn't know, but Gong Xian knew that Night Sorrow often drank. Gong Xian even tasted Night Sorrow's hard liquor. Aoi and Yang Lei looked at each other, then looked at Night Sorrow and Shi Tianlin. At this time, Night Sorrow and Sir Tianlin held the jar and started drinking. Soon, 2 jars of wine were downed. Oh, little 13's alcohol tolerance is not bad. Although it's a bit disappointing, if I drink with you again, 6th senior sister and 9th junior sister will get angry. Sir Tianlin said unhappily. It's okay. Drink as much as you want. If you get drunk, I have a guest room here. Let's drink to our heart's content. Seeing that Night Sorrow was fine after drinking an entire jar of wine, Aoi understood Gong Xian's words. She knew that Night Sorrow's alcohol tolerance was not simple. Senior brother, we want to drink to our heart's content. You won't mind, right? Sir Tianlin looked at Gong Xian. Do as you please. Since you want to relax, then relax to your heart's content. Gong Xian said with a smile. Come, come. Martial nephews, drink to your heart's content today. Senior sister, take out your 100 herbs wine. Everyone will be happy. Sir Tianlin looked at Aoi and said. Senior sister is bleeding this time. Someone, bring out the azure blood wine and 100 herbs wine. Aoi shouted to the servant disciples. Hearing Aoi's words, Sir Tianlin was stunned. The azure blood wine was the best wine in Aoi's secluded forest house. It was brewed with golden tiger blood and white flood dragon blood. It was very rare, but at the same time, it was also very strong. No matter how many times they drank together, Aoi was not willing to take it out. The servant disciples quickly brought over 2 types of wine. One was a celadone jar, the other was a purple sand jar. Chu Ning reached out for the purple sand jar. He was currently drinking with Ma Shizhuang and Tang Tian. Chapter 38. Chu Ning reached out for the purple clay jug. He was having a drinking competition with Ma Shizhuang and Tang Tian. Don't touch this if you don't want to die a horrible death. Gong Xian slapped Chu Ning's hand away. Little guy, you still want to drink this? You're better than your third uncle. Aoi looked at the stunned Chu Ning and said. Sir Tianlin reached out and took a purple clay jug. After opening it, he poured a bowl for himself and Yishang. 13, this is your honor. This is 6th senior sister's best wine. Your senior brother has been longing for it for a long time. The last time I drank it was 10 years ago. Thank you, 6th senior sister. I'll give this to you and 8th senior brother. Night Sorrow raised his bowl to Aoi and nodded to Sir Tianlin. Then, he drank the wine in one gulp. After drinking, Night Sorrow took a deep breath. This wine was stronger than the wine he brought from Bamboo Garden Village. It was like a ball of fire. 13, how's the wine? Sir Tianlin smiled at Night Sorrow. Fiery hot, very strong, this is a good wine. Yishang savored the aftertaste and said. You're not dizzy. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Sir Tianlin was stunned. 10 years ago, he drank a bowl. After drinking it, the alcohol went straight to his head. Could it be that after a long time, the alcohol has gone? Looking at the bowl in his hand, Sir Tianlin sniffed and shook his head. He felt that the alcohol smell was very strong. 9th brother, 13 has finished drinking. Why are you still hesitating? Aoi looked at Sir Tianlin and said. Oh. Sir Tianlin raised his bowl and drank the wine in one gulp, just like Night Sorrow. After drinking the wine, Sir Tianlin closed his mouth and stared. Then, he took a deep breath and said, it's stronger than 10 years ago. A few years ago, I added some silver bear gallbladder. Why do you use bowls and jugs? Don't all men use jugs to drink? Aoi said with a smile. Master, let me drink with 13th uncle. Seeing that his master couldn't drink anymore, Su Feng came in front of them. 13. Drink with them. Yang Lei shouted. She could see that Night Sorrow had a high alcohol tolerance. It was fine for him to drink with Shi Tianlin. Aoi went forward and poured a bowl for Su Feng and Night Sorrow. Yi Shang raised his hand at Su Feng and drank the wine in one gulp. Su Feng bowed to Qing Ji and drank the wine in one gulp. After putting down the wine bowl, Su Feng's legs went soft. Why is this table shaking? After he finished speaking, Su Feng's legs went soft and he collapsed. Little guy, do you think you're 13? Qing Ji smiled and hooked Su Feng with her foot. She threw Su Feng to a chair at the side. This kick was strong, but it was all soft. Su Feng's body landed on the chair, but the chair didn't even shake. Sixth sister, drinking this azure blood wine in jugs is a waste of a treasure. It's not worth it to lose this azure blood wine just to embarrass me. Shi Tianlin said with a smile. Okay. Then drink with a cup. Aoi nodded. Since Shi Tianlin admitted defeat, she didn't continue to force him to make a fool of himself. Between fellow disciples, it was enough to play around. How could she really embarrass Shi Tianlin? Little 13, I couldn't tell that your alcohol tolerance was real. That kid can't do it. Shi Tianlin looked at Su Feng, who was sleeping on the chair with his head down, and shook his head. It doesn't matter if he can't do it, as long as he can step up at the crucial moment. Gong Xian said with a smile. He was very satisfied with the third-generation disciples of Taishan Peak. Let's go back. Even if he has to use a jug of wine, I'll make it for him. How can a man not know how to drink? Shi Tianlin muttered. However, he looked at Su Feng with a satisfied gaze. That night, everyone rested in the secluded forest house. In the middle of the night, Night Sorrow made barbecue for everyone. It was Gong Xian's suggestion. He had eaten Night Sorrow's barbecue before, so he also let Wu Qi, Huanan, and the others have a taste. After eating, everyone was full of praise for Night Sorrow's cooking. After resting for a night, Night Sorrow woke up and washed his face. He planned to leave. Equals unspecified currency forever. For a long time free, FF looked small / I say when Night Sorrow walked out of the secluded forest house, he saw Aoi standing under an ancient tree. 13th brother, if there's anything, come and find me. Thank you for your hospitality last night, 6th senior sister. If there's anything, I'll come and trouble you. Night Sorrow nodded. By the way, after 3 months, new disciples have a chance to go home. Their hometown will also be protected by the Medicine Valley. There will be outer disciples of the Medicine Valley stationed there. I'll go with you. Aoi said to Night Sorrow. Okay, I'll come and find you. Night Sorrow nodded and left. He knew what Aoi said. When he first came to the Medicine Valley, he wanted to join the Medicine Valley. He wanted Juyuan village to be protected by the Medicine Valley. 6th senior sister, did you notice? 11th, 12th, and 13th brother are very similar. They are all lonely and determined. It's a pity that 12th brother is different. Yang Lei appeared beside Aoi. 11th and 12th brother have the best relationship. Although the small sect called 4C's sect was destroyed by Master, their sect leader ran away. 11th brother went out for more than half a year every year to hunt him down. It's a knot in 11th brother's heart. Aoi wiped the corner of her eyes and said. Yu Yangyu's 11th disciple, Mo Chen, and 12th disciple, Guan Yi, joined the Medicine Valley at the same time. They cultivated together. Later, they split up to do sect missions. Guan Yi was besieged and killed by a sect called 4C's sect. Guan Yi killed more than 20 people and was stabbed more than 10 times. He even lost an arm. If he said that he was a disciple of the Medicine Valley, he wouldn't die. However, in the end, he didn't use his identity as a disciple of the Medicine Valley to suppress his opponents. When the disciples of the Medicine Valley found him, he only said one sentence. He didn't tarnish the reputation of the Taishan Peak. He didn't embarrass Master. Yu Yangyu razed the Four Seas sect to the ground in anger. The sect leader of the Four Seas sect had something to do and escaped the disaster. When he found out that the young man who led the team to besiege them was a disciple of Yu Yangyu, the heaven-shaking hand of the Medicine Valley, he didn't dare to show his face again. 11th brother should be back soon. Yang Lei's voice was a little choked. In her heart, Mo Qin and Guan Yu were both younger brothers. Yes. The Taishan Peak doesn't accept disciples because Master doesn't want to see his disciples die. 13th's appearance changed Master's mind. This is a good thing. Aoi said. So you're worried about 13 and want to go with him to his hometown to take a look? Yang Lei said. Yes. Although cultivators have to go through countless trials and tribulations, before 13 grows up, I'll do my best as his senior sister. Aoi nodded. If there's nothing else, I'll go with you. Yang Lei also made her decision. Now, except for Night Sorrow, who had just joined Yu Yangyu, the rest of the disciples could take care of themselves. So, everyone's focus was on Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow had just arrived at Bamboo Forest Peak and was still some distance away from Gong Xian's residence when he heard a cry. It was Tianyu's cry. Then, Tianyu appeared. He spread his wings and landed in front of Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow walked up and gently patted Tianyu's wings. They hadn't seen each other for a month. Night Sorrow was worried about Tianyu. After a month, Tianyu's body had grown a little. His white feathers were glowing. Let's go home. Up. Night Sorrow said as he patted Tianyu's neck. Tianyu spread his wings and flew into the air. Night Sorrow jumped and grabbed Tianyu's claws with his right hand. Chapter 39. Tianyu, you scared me. I thought you weren't happy. Standing on Tianyu's back, Night Sorrow understood Tianyu's intention. Tianyu allowed him to ride. Tianyu wasn't a tamed beast, but a monster. He was born with a wild nature. Night Sorrow had hunted for years and knew that monsters had one thing in common: they were wild and hard to tame. Their backs were forbidden areas. Once someone rode them, they would get angry. Tianyu allowing Night Sorrow to ride him was a sign of approval. Tianyu's speed was extremely fast. A moment later, they arrived at Night Sorrow's residence. Don't land first. Let's go hunt. Today, I'll personally cook for you. Night Sorrow said to Tianyu. Tianyu let out a piercing cry. Then, flying close to the ancient forest, he quickly discovered a white bear. After letting out another cry, Tianyu's body quickly dived down. A pair of sharp claws directly pierced through the white bear's back. A pair of sharp claws grabbed the white bear's spine. Then, without stopping, he grabbed the white bear and soared into the sky again. Night Sorrow was shocked. Tianyu was too fierce. The white bear was a rank 2 monster, but in front of Tianyu, it couldn't resist at all. Not to mention other things, Tianyu's fighting nature was too strong. He directly hit the white bear's vitals. The white bear didn't even have a chance to fight back. After returning to his residence, Tianyu landed outside the courtyard. After landing, he saw that the white bear was still struggling. Tianyu's golden eyes flashed. He pointed his head, and his sharp beak directly pierced the white bear's head. Night Sorrow smiled. He went into the bamboo house and took a sharp knife to deal with the white bear. Night Sorrow peeled off the bear's skin and hung it aside to dry. He planned to make Tianyu's residence more comfortable. After skinning the bear, Night Sorrow fed Tianyu the bear's gallbladder and then began to roast the meat. At this time, the two servants came. Night Sorrow didn't let them help, and instead fed Tianyu a good meal himself before he went to cultivate. The qi gathering pill that Yu Yangyu gave him could raise his qi refining level by 1 level, but Night Sorrow did not plan to use it now. His current cultivation was at the middle of the 7th level of qi refining, and he planned to use it when he reached the 8th level of qi refining. That way, he would be able to raise his cultivation to the 9th level of qi refining. After he was done with the Sacred Cauldron Scripture and the Book of Myriad Daos, Night Sorrow began to practice his Windchaser spear arts and Mountain Suppression Hand. The power of the Mountain Suppression Hand that Night Sorrow used was different from before. Although he couldn't attack a second time, after using it, the Jin Qi that returned to his body was much greater than before. In other words, after using the Mountain Suppression Hand once, it wouldn't affect Night Sorrow's ability to continue fighting. The Windchaser spear arts improved the most. Night Sorrow's Book of Myriad Daos had reached the 5th level of the blood refining realm. The first wave of the Windchaser spear arts was very powerful. One spear strike was enough to pierce through an ancient tree. Relying on the strength of his body, the Windchaser spear arts could pierce through an ancient tree. The shock waves could shatter an area of 3 to 4 inches around the tip of the spear. While Night Sorrow was cultivating, Gong Xian came. He told Night Sorrow that in a few days, he would have to go to Danding Peak to register. He also asked if Night Sorrow had any plans to return to his hometown. Returning to Zhuyuan village was something that Night Sorrow had to do. As for registering, Night Sorrow didn't quite understand. However, after Gong Xian's explanation, Night Sorrow understood. Although the Medicine Valley's peaks had their own system, the main peak still had to be managed. The main peak didn't care about the outer sect disciples and the odd job workers, but the 2nd and 3rd generation disciples had to be recorded. This way, the Merit Hall would distribute resources according to the disciples' ranks and wouldn't miss out on anything. The disciples' ranks also had to be registered. Inner sect disciples and elite disciples had different treatment. Okay, when do you want to go? Senior brother, just let me know. Night Sorrow nodded. I might not have time. A golden lion beast appeared in Danding Mountain Range. It has already injured many people. That area is under the jurisdiction of our Taishan Peak. I have to go take a look. When the time comes, your 6th senior sister will come and take you to the main peak. Gong Xian said to Night Sorrow. I understand. Senior brother, you have to be careful. Night Sorrow said to Gong Xian. Ha! It's fine. A golden lion beast is no big deal. I can crush it to death with a clap of my hands. Gong Xian said with a smile. If it was just a golden lion beast, Gong Xian wouldn't have to take action. It was said that a natural array formation had appeared there and alarmed many people. People from all the peaks in Medicine Valley had gone there. Gong Xian was worried that others wouldn't be able to handle the situation, so he planned to go there. After Gong Xian left, Night Sorrow continued cultivating. There were still a few days before he could return to Zhuyuan village. Night Sorrow was very excited, but he didn't want to delay his cultivation. He didn't want to disappoint old Gu. A hunter had to be the best hunter, and a cultivator couldn't be weak. Aoi arrived much earlier than Night Sorrow had expected. On the 3rd day after Gong Xian left, Aoi arrived. 6th senior sister, you're here. Sit down and have a cup of tea. Night Sorrow, who had just finished cultivating the wind-chasing spear art, wiped his sweat and brought Aoi into the small courtyard. 13, you're too hardworking. Cultivation has to be done step by step. If you have nothing to do, come to senior brother and senior sister's place and relax. Aoi frowned as she took the tea from Night Sorrow and looked at Night Sorrow's sweaty hair. I know. Master hasn't accepted a disciple for more than 10 years. I don't want to disappoint him, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow was very grateful that Yu Yangyu looked at him differently. He had always wanted to repay him. He knew that the way to repay him was to cultivate diligently and let others know that Yu Yangyu's decision was right. It's been hard on you. 13. Your jade pendant is very beautiful. Aoi said as she looked at the simple jade pendant around Night Sorrow's neck. Update D new K fastest on Vec. Night Sorrow looked down at the jade pendant around his neck and hesitated for a moment before taking it off. Senior sister, since you like it, I'll give it to you. 13. You misunderstood. I saw that this jade pendant had an ancient aura and didn't belong to an ordinary family, so I said it casually. Aoi took the jade pendant from Night Sorrow and stuffed it into Night Sorrow's hand. I don't know. This might be the only thing my family left behind. Night Sorrow's voice was a little soft. Night Sorrow's family background was a pain in his heart. What happened to your family? Aoi immediately knew that Night Sorrow had something on his mind. Night Sorrow didn't hide anything from Aoi. He told her how Father Gu had picked him up and brought him back to Bamboo Garden Village. He also told her that he had come to Medicine Valley to become a cultivator and to find protection for the Medicine Valley. You're too much. How can you give such an important thing to someone else? Aoi glared at Night Sorrow. Sixth senior sister isn't someone else. Night Sorrow shook his head. Well said. Sixth senior sister isn't someone else. You can't give this jade pendant to anyone else. This is the only clue to your family background. You owe Bamboo Garden Village a debt of gratitude for raising you. It's only right that you find a backer for them. This time, we'll go to Bamboo Garden Village and settle this matter. Aoi patted Night Sorrow's shoulder and said. Sixth senior sister, are we leaving immediately after registering? Night Sorrow asked. Yes, your second senior brother and the others are waiting for us at Taishan Hall. Aoi nodded. Night Sorrow called Tianyu over. Tianyu, I'm worried about leaving you here. You'll have to bear with it for a while and enter the beast taming space. Chapter 40. He can fly, so he doesn't need to enter the beast taming space. We can just bring him along, Aoi said as she sized up Tianyu. Alright, let's go then. Night Sorrow was very happy to hear that Tianyu didn't need to be put into the beast taming space. Night Sorrow and Aoi left the courtyard, closed the door, and headed towards Taishan Peak. Tianyu, who was following behind Night Sorrow, let out a cry and took off, circling above Night Sorrow and Aoi's heads. Seeing Tianyu circling above them, Night Sorrow knew that Tianyu wanted him to go up. However, Night Sorrow couldn't reach this height of 30 feet. Besides, Aoi was there as well. Was he supposed to sit on Tianyu while Aoi walked? Sixth senior sister's walking isn't slow. You can go up. Aoi grabbed Night Sorrow's shoulders and flung Night Sorrow a few feet into the air, allowing Night Sorrow to stand on Tianyu's back. After Night Sorrow stood on Tianyu's back, Aoi floated below Tianyu. Is Tianyu okay with carrying sixth senior sister? Night Sorrow felt very uncomfortable. It wasn't appropriate for him to sit on a flying beast and let Aoi walk below him. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Tianyu circled above Aoi. Sixth senior sister, come up. Tianyu agreed. Night Sorrow called out to Aoi. Seeing Tianyu flying so close to her, Aoi knew that Tianyu agreed to let her go up. Aoi lifted her skirt and jumped into the air, landing beside Night Sorrow. After Aoi landed, Tianyu let out a cry that pierced through the clouds. Then, it spread its wings and quickly flew forward. What an incredible xenogenic mythical bird. Little junior brother, you're really lucky. Aoi looked down at Tianyu and exclaimed. She was shocked at how compatible Night Sorrow and Tianyu were. Normally, even if a beast willingly followed a human, they would still be wild. Very few beasts were like Tianyu. Update. See Max 5Q Fast UJ soon. Nate Sorrow and Aoi arrived at Taishan Peak's main hall. Tianyu landed on the plaza in front of the hall. After jumping off Tianyu's back, Night Sorrow saw that his senior brothers and senior sisters were all there. The third-generation disciples of Taishan Peak were also there. Behind them were 10 green eagles. Sixth junior sister, you're back. Let's go. Seeing Night Sorrow and Aoi appear, Wu Qi said. Okay, Shenrong, come here. Aoi waved at the green eagles. One of the green eagles flew to Aoi's side. Aoi's disciple, Shenrong, also came over. Aoi brought Shenrong onto the back of the green eagles. Everyone else followed. Wu Qi brought Gong Xian's disciples, Chu Ning and Tang Tian, as well as his own disciple, Ma Zhuang. Seeing the green eagles take off, Night Sorrow nodded at Tianyu. The moment Tianyu took off, Night Sorrow landed on Tianyu's back. 13's flying demonic beast is really something. Although it's not as strong as the blue condor, its bloodline is of a high grade and it'll have great potential in the future, Hua Nan said to Wu Qi, who was standing not far from him, as he looked at Night Sorrow. I heard from Big Senior Brother that this guy has the bloodline of the ancient Green Eagle and Black Phoenix. His future is limitless. Who knew that this guy's temperament would match with 13's? Wu Qi said. As they chatted, the group arrived at Danding Peak's merit hall. Every peak had its own merit hall. It was actually the chore hall that handled the disciples' affairs. Junior Brother Wu, you're here. After they landed, a man walked over from the merit hall and greeted them. Senior Brother Chu is here too. Wu Qi greeted with an indescribable coldness. Night Sorrow recognized this person. He was the Danding Peak's first disciple, Chu Lingshao. He was the one who hosted the Medicine Valley's disciple recruitment ceremony. Yes, 2 disciples entered the pill ranking. I'm here to register them. Chu Lingshao smiled. Show off my ass. We didn't accept disciples before. Otherwise, how could your disciples enter the pill ranking? Aoi didn't wait for Wu Qi to speak. She didn't have anything nice to say. That's true. If Taishan Peak accepted third-generation disciples earlier, the pill ranking and Yuan ranking wouldn't be like this. Chu Lingshao was stunned. Humph. At least you know what's good for you. Aoi snorted. Chu Ning greets third uncle. Chu Ning, who was following behind Wu Qi, said. Work hard. It's only a matter of time before you become an inner disciple. As long as you work hard, you'll have a bright future. Chu Lingshao nodded at Chu Ning. You don't have to worry about that. He's now a third-generation disciple of Taishan Peak. He's my first senior brother's disciple. He'll definitely have a bright future. Yang Lei said. Hearing Yang Lei's words, Chu Lingshao was shocked. Newcomers were usually outer disciples. After a period of observation, they would enter the inner sect. He didn't expect Chu Ning to become an inner disciple so quickly. Moreover, he was under Gong Xian. Among the second-generation disciples of Medicine Valley, Chu Lingshao had never bowed down to anyone. He had always come out on top in the sect's competition. However, there was one exception, and that was Gong Xian. Chu Lingshao had lost to Gong Xian before. He knew very well that Gong Xian hadn't used his full strength. Ning, say hello to your master for me. I have something to do, so I'll be leaving first. Chu Lingshao got up and left. When he passed by Aoi, he deliberately went around her. There was a saying in Medicine Valley that you shouldn't mess with a disciple of Taishan Peak. If you messed with a disciple of Taishan Peak, you wouldn't have a good time. Chu Lingshao firmly believed this. Back then, he had defeated Aoi in the sect competition. However, in the next competition, Gong Xian, who had never fought before, fought. In the end, Chu Ling Shao lost first place. Gong Xian also said that as long as Chu Ling Shao fought, he would fight as well. This made Chu Ling Shao realize that the disciples of Taishan Peak were not only strong in combat, but also extremely difficult to deal with. In addition, when the 12 disciples of Taishan Peak were in trouble, Medicine Valley stepped in to deal with it. They even sent an elder to communicate with Yu Yangyu to punish the Four Seas sect. Because the Four Seas sect was a subordinate force of Medicine Valley, Taishan Peak didn't give face to anyone and directly destroyed the Four Seas sect. Therefore, Chu Ling Shao was very unwilling to have a dispute with Taishan Peak. I didn't say anything wrong. He's just a sanctimonious guy, Aoi said, curling her lips. Chu Ning was a little embarrassed. On one side was his martial uncle, and on the other side was his uncle. He didn't know what conflict there was between them. Sixth junior sister, we don't like this guy, but generally speaking, this guy is not bad. Ning Her is also here. Don't embarrass him, Wuqi glanced at Chu Ning and said. Ning Er, martial uncle has a conflict with your third uncle, but it has nothing to do with you. Don't think too much. Martial uncle just wants to teach your third uncle a lesson, Aoi said as she patted Chu Ning's shoulder. Chu Ning nodded. He understood that Aoi and Chu Ling Zhao's conflict was probably due to personal feelings. There was no deep hatred between them. Otherwise, Aoi wouldn't have said that she wanted to teach him a lesson. This year is really rare. Everyone from Taishan Peak is here. A man in a green robe appeared. It was Tianyue Peak's Luo Daoyuan. What? Do you have a problem with that? Yang Lei said coldly. Taishan Peak has snatched a lot of newcomers this time. I hope they are useful. This time, our Tianyue Peak's outer disciples are very outstanding, Luo Daoyuan said with a laugh. Luo Daoyuan, if you want to cause trouble, then find a place. I'll accompany you. If the disciples are useful, then I'll see you in the arena, Hua Nan said coldly. Chapter 41. What the hell? Shi Tianlin cursed under his breath. He's a real villain. When 11 injured his brother in the arena, he has been holding a grudge against our Taishan Peak. Remember this, if the disciples of Tianyue Peak find trouble in the future, hit them until they're disabled. If they don't learn from their mistakes, then hit them a few more times, Aoi said. 13th uncle, wasn't he the one who took your grudge away? Tang Tian looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Yes, I remember. Night Sorrow nodded. What's the situation? 13, you have an enemy. Yang Lei frowned and asked Night Sorrow. Nothing big, just a small conflict, Night Sorrow shook his head and said. During the disciple recruitment ceremony, there was a guy who came with us. He attacked 13th uncle during the assessment and injured him. He was almost eliminated, but 13th uncle broke his collarbone and he couldn't continue with the assessment. He was then taken away by that guy just now, Tang Tian said. 13, good job. We fought back when he provoked us, Yang Lei patted Night Sorrow's shoulder and said. That's right. That guy was at Qi refining stage 8 and reacted quickly. If not, 13th uncle's spear would have cut his neck, Tang Tian said before Night Sorrow could speak. 13, aren't you afraid of being kicked out of Medicine Valley? Wuqi looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I'm afraid, but I can't face myself if I don't even dare to make a sound when I'm bullied, Night Sorrow said. Yes, a man has to be responsible. Luo Daoyuan, take that guy into Tianyue Peak. You'll have to cross paths in the future. If there's a conflict, fight to the death, Wuqi said as he stood up and led a group of people to the Merit Hall. The Merit Hall was located on the left side of Danding Peak's main hall. It was about 30 to 40 miles away from Danding Peak's main hall. The Merit Hall was one of the symbols of Danding Peak. The main hall was about 100 feet tall and the door was about 60 to 70 feet wide. There were many people inside. There were tens of thousands of disciples in the Medicine Valley, so the Merit Hall was usually quite busy. Some of them issued sect missions, some accepted sect missions, and some distributed cultivation resources. Wuchi led a group of people to an old man on the left. Elders Wa, these are the new disciples of Taishan Peak. Please register them. Taishan Peak hasn't accepted any newcomers for many years. Of course, Taishan Peak should take in more newcomers. Come. Little fellows, come one by one. Take out your identity plates and tell me who your master is. Elder Swa smiled and waved at Nangong Dai and the others. He was Yu Yangyu's friend. Yu Yangyu's Taishan Peak hadn't recruited new people for many years. Now that they were recruiting new people, he was happy for Yu Yangyu. Tang Tian, Master Gong Xian. Wuchi nudged Tang Tian who was beside him. Tang Tian stepped forward and announced his master, then took out his own green jade tablet. And, not bad young fellow. Gong Xian has caught a treasure this time. Elders Wa sized Tang Tian up and took out a pen for Tang Tian to register. Chu Ning, Master Gong Xian. After Tang Tian was done, Chu Ning, who was behind Wuchi, reported his identity and also took out his identity plate. Good. Good. They are all good seedlings. Elders Wa nodded his head in praise. After Gong Xian finished registering, Wuchi's disciple, Ma Yezhuang, went forward to register. A very sturdy fellow. He will definitely be a tough guy in the future. Elders Wo looked at Ma Yezhuang and said. Then, according to the order of Yu Yangyu's disciples, Chu Ning and the rest went forward to register. Only Night Sorrow was left. This is Mo Chen's disciple? Elders Wo tilted his head and looked at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow, Master Yu Yangyu. Taking 2 steps forward, Night Sorrow put his black identity plate on the table. What? You are old Lu's disciple? Elders Wa stood up and looked at Night Sorrow. Elders Wa, this is my master's 13th disciple, and also his last disciple. Wuchi said with a smile. He knew that this news would shock many people. This is really strange. This fellow's vitality is very strong. He is indeed a good seedling to inherit your master's legacy. Elders Wa sat back and registered Night Sorrow's name. Elders Wa, you are busy. We will take our leave. There are still some things to deal with. Wuchi bowed to Elders Wa and left with a group of people. Taishan Peak. Taishan Peak is going to rise again after more than 10 years of silence. Elders Wa murmured softly as he watched Wuchi and the rest leave. After leaving the Merit Hall, the group of people came to the front of the Green Condor. Zhengji Edition XT Junior Brother, Junior Sister, let's go our separate ways according to the original plan. Come back as soon as you are done. Their cultivation is very important. We of Taishan Peak must show our faces in the competition between the newcomers. Standing in front of his green condor, Wuchi said to Huanan and the rest. Okay. Huanan and the rest nodded. Night Sorrow and the rest of the 13 newcomers came from different places. With Medicine Valley as the center, they came from cities and wastelands in all directions. Red Flame City was just one direction. There were too many cities like this in the Medicine Valley. It could even be said that Red Flame City could only be considered a second-rate city. The newcomers going to Red Flame City were Tang Tian, Night Sorrow, and Ma Shizhuang. The ones leading them in this direction were Aoi and Yang Lei. Huanan and Wuchi planned to send Nangong Dai and Qingjiang. These two were the closest to them. They planned to pick up Gong Xian when they were done. Aoi carried Ma Shizhuang, Yang Lei carried Tang Tian, and Night Sorrow rode on Tianyu's back. The five of them flew towards Red Flame City. As they took off, the green condor's speed became faster and faster. The green condor was much bigger than Tianyu. Its wings were about 7 to 8 feet long. With a flap, it could travel hundreds of meters. However, Tianyu's speed was not slow either. Its body was small, and its wings were not as big as the green condor's. However, it was nimble, and the frequency at which it flapped its wings was high. After flying for a day, they stopped to rest. After all, demonic beasts would get tired after flying for a long time. Night Sorrow brought Tianyu back to roast an antelope. As for Aoi and Yang Lei's green condors, they went to hunt for their own food. When they saw Tianyu eating cooked meat and drinking wine, Aoi and the others were very surprised. Tianyu was too strange. He was completely different from other demonic beasts. It's young, so it has a lot of the same habits as you. In the future, the two of you will be more compatible. Flying demonic beasts are rare, and one like Tianyu is even rarer. Aoi looked at Tianyu and said, "Sixth martial ant, where did you catch your green condor? When I'm strong enough, I'll catch one too." Tang Tian looked at Night Sorrow's Tianyu enviously. "We didn't catch it. Your grandmaster saved a green condor that was dying in a battle with other demonic beasts. Before it died, the green condor brought grandmaster to its nest. There were 10 young green condors in its nest. That's how we got our green condor as mounts." Aoi explained to Tang Tian. "So 11th martial ant doesn't have a flying mount?" Ma Shizhuang asked. "Yes, and it's a very ferocious golden-winged eagle. You'll see it in the future. After eating, rest. We'll travel for a day tomorrow, and we'll reach Red Flame City the day after tomorrow," Yang Lei said with a smile. Night Sorrow felt a little emotional. Back then, it took almost 20 days to travel from Red Flame City to Medicine Valley. Now, with a flying mount, it only took 3 days. It was unbelievable. Chapter 42. Once a pill was consumed, it had to be refined. If the energy of the pill could not be refined in one go, the pill toxins in the pill would affect the body. After cultivating for a night, they washed up at a stream not far from the resting area. Then, the group continued their journey to Red Flame City. In the afternoon, they encountered a green-winged eagle. Night Sorrow did not know if it was the same one they met on the road previously. Before he could even prepare for battle, the battle had already ended. Or rather, the battle had not even started. When the green-winged eagle appeared, Aoi had already jumped off the green condor and slashed the green-winged eagle into 2 halves from head to tail with just one slash. After killing the green-winged eagle, Aoi turned around and landed on the green condor's body. "You're really looking for death. 6th martial ant, are we not going to take a look at the spoils of war?" Seeing that Aoi and Yang Lei had no intention of stopping, Yuan Shizhuang asked. "It's just a pseudo-Dan stage demonic beast. There's nothing valuable in its body. Forget it." Aoi shook her head and did not even look at the green-winged eagle's body. "Zhu Wu, did you know that when 13th Uncle and I were rushing from Red Flame City to Medicine Valley, we also encountered a green-winged eagle? That time, we almost lost our lives." Tang Tian still had a lingering fear when he thought of the previous incident. "There are also demonic beasts roaming around our hometown. However, there's a merchant association in the town. If any demonic beasts come, the guards of the merchant association will take action. It's not a threat to our safety," Yuan Shizhuang said. "Let's not talk about Tang Tian. His family is from Red Flame City, and there are disciples from the Medicine Valley stationed in the city. Ma Zhuang, where is your hometown? Let's go over this time, and get the nearest city to send people over to take your hometown under protection. Qing Ji asked. It's South Sword Town under Red Flame City. Yuan Shizhuang said. Alright, we'll go to Red Flame City to settle this matter. 13th uncle, what's the biggest city near your hometown? Aoi looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I don't know. I found a town after I left the mountain. I went straight to the Medicine Valley, Night Sorrow said, a little embarrassed. Don't worry, we'll take our time looking for it once we know the direction, Yang Lei said with a smile. She could tell that Night Sorrow was a little apologetic and didn't want to trouble her and Aoi. A day later, they arrived at Red Flame City. The few of them kept the Green Condor and Tianyu outside the city. Night Sorrow could only temporarily keep Tianyu in the Taming Beast space. Entering the Red Flame City, the group did not head straight to the Castellan mansion. Instead, they found a restaurant to grab a bite. As soon as they entered the restaurant and sat down, a man at another table pulled down the bamboo hat on his head and went out directly. After sitting down, Night Sorrow said, "Sixth senior sister, that person was very strange." He was very calm at first, but when he saw the two martial ants, he seemed to be very scared. He directly pulled down his bamboo hat and walked out. What did he look like? Yang Lei took a sip of tea and asked. I didn't pay much attention to him. He just had a big beard and a scar on his neck. Night Sorrow said. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Yang Lei was shocked and her face was filled with murderous intent. Luo Sihai, go after him. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Yang Lei and Aoi's expressions changed. They stood up and left the restaurant. Yishan also followed him out of the restaurant. Over there. Night Sorrow pointed to the west side of the street in front of the restaurant. Although the person had taken off his bamboo hat, Night Sorrow recognized him from his silhouette. It's 11th murderer. I must kill him today. Yang Lei growled. She stomped her feet and directly chased after the person in front of her. Night Sorrow was shocked when he saw Yang Lei shatter the green rock on the ground. He couldn't imagine that Yang Lei's delicate body could contain so much energy. Aoi was the same. Her body flashed as she chased after the person in front of her. Like Yang Lei, she had a murderous look on her face. Let's follow them. Ma Shizhuang shouted and rushed forward. When Ma Shizhuang shouted, Night Sorrow also began to chase after them. Everyone started moving together. However, in the blink of an eye, Aoi and Yang Lei had already rushed out dozens of feet. At this time, Luo Sihai also sped up. With a thought, Night Sorrow summoned Tianyu. Fly! The moment Tianyu took off, Night Sorrow jumped and grabbed Flying Feather's right claw with his left hand. Tianyu, if I push my hand to the left, you will fly to the left. If I push my hand to the right, you will fly to the right. Now, keep flying as fast as you can. Night Sorrow communicated with Tianyu. He understood what killing Luo Sihai meant to Yu Yangyu's disciples. Hearing Night Sorrow's words, Tianyu let out a cry. His wings flapped rapidly and he flew at a low altitude. Soon, Night Sorrow and Tianyu caught up with Aoi and Yang Lei. They also saw Luo Sihai's shadow. Aoi and Yang Lei were closing the distance between them and Luo Sihai. However, it was only a little. Tianyu let out another cry. He flew over Aoi and Yang Lei's heads and chased after Luo Sihai. 13, come back. Yang Lei anxiously shouted. She was worried about Night Sorrow's safety. After all, Luo Sihai was not a simple person. He could kill Night Sorrow, who was in the Qi refinement realm, with just a move. Ninth senior sister, hurry up. Don't lose him. I will think of a way to intercept him. Night Sorrow shouted. He took out the reincarnation spear from his back and poured all the energy in his body into his arm. Flying Feather's speed was very fast. He was getting closer and closer to Luo Sihai. At this time, Luo Sihai turned around and was about to enter the small street. Ah! Night Sorrow let out a low roar. The reincarnation spear in his hand shot out towards the path Luo Sihai took to enter the small street. Luo Sihai, who was about to enter the small street, heard the sound of something piercing through the air. He quickly changed his direction and did not dare to enter the small street. When Aoi and Yang Lei entered the restaurant, Luo Sihai recognized them and hastily ran out of the restaurant. When he left the restaurant, he thought that everything was fine. However, when he saw Aoi and Yang Lei come out, he knew that he was in trouble. He ran without caring about anything else. Now that he was delayed by Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear, Aoi and Yang Lei were closing the distance between them. Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear pierced through one ancient tree after another. It pierced through 3 ancient trees before it stopped and pierced into the 4th ancient tree. When Flying Feather arrived at the location of the reincarnation spear, Night Sorrow jumped down. "Come back and get me." After jumping down from Tianyu, Night Sorrow shouted towards Tianyu. After shouting, Night Sorrow smashed his right fist towards the end of the reincarnation spear. Then, he rushed forward and grabbed the reincarnation spear that pierced through the tree trunk. He then jumped up and grabbed Tianyu's claws that were flying back. At this time, Aoi and Yang Lei had already chased after him. It was not that they did not want to summon their cyan condors. However, this street was not straight. They could not control their cyan condors as easily as their arms and fingers. Their cyan condors could not be compared to Tianyu's agility. Flying Feather quickly caught up to Yang Lei and Aoi. "Ninth senior sister, come up." Night Sorrow realized that he could not stop Luo Sihai, so he simply called for Yang Lei to come up. When Yang Lei heard Night Sorrow's roar, she stomped her feet and leaped towards Tianyu. V7G starter Night Sorrow did not have enough time to let Tianyu extend his claws. However, Yang Lei grabbed Night Sorrow's left arm that was grabbing onto Tianyu's claws. Seeing that Yang Lei and Night Sorrow were chasing after Luo Sihai with Flying Feather, Aoi summoned her cyan condor and had it fly high. This way, Luo Sihai would not be able to escape. Chapter 43. When Night Sorrow saw that he was still a few dozen feet away from Luo Sihai, he raised his right hand again. The reincarnation spear let out a sharp whistle and shot towards Luo Sihai's back. The only thing Night Sorrow could do was to slow down Luo Sihai's speed so that Aoi and Yang Lei could catch up and engage in a head-on battle. When Luo Sihai heard the sound of something breaking through the air behind him, he quickly dodged to the side and allowed Fei Yu to catch up with him. "Die for me." Yang Lei roared and floated down from Tianyu. Her right hand slapped towards Luo Sihai's back. Night Sorrow noticed that Yang Lei's hand was surrounded by a basin-sized green cyclone. This was the cloud-flipping hand of the heaven-covering hand. Luo Sihai didn't dare to take it head-on. He dodged to the side and then charged forward, intending to continue escaping. He had no intention of fighting Yang Lei head-on. When Yang Lei's palm missed, she leaped up and sent a second palm strike towards Luo Sihai. Luo Sihai dodged and ran at the same time. However, he couldn't escape at full speed. Night Sorrow picked up the reincarnation spear and followed behind Yang Lei and Luo Sihai. Tianyu landed on top of a loft. Yang Lei continuously attacked Luo Sihai with palm strike after palm strike. Luo Sihai kept dodging and charging forward. After dodging a few palm strikes, Luo Sihai's body became unstable. Yang Lei seized the opportunity and leaped up. She sent a palm strike towards Luo Sihai's head. This palm strike enveloped Luo Sihai's entire body. "Lowly servant, you've gone too far." Since he couldn't escape anymore, Luo Sihai punched towards Yang Lei's right palm. Bang! With a muffled sound, Luo Sihai's body was sent flying. His right arm was twisted at an irregular angle. It was obvious that it was broken by Yang Lei's palm strike. Other than your movement technique, you're just trash. Trash that isn't even worth mentioning. Seeing Luo Sihai standing up after falling to the ground and losing his speed, Yang Lei moved her hands to the sides and slowly approached Luo Sihai. At this moment, Aoi jumped down from the Azure Eagle and blocked the other side of the alley. Is there no end to the Taishan Peak? It's been more than 10 years, yet they're still hunting us down. Isn't it enough for each of our 4C's sect to pay with one life? Luo Sihai shouted hysterically. How can your lowly lives be compared to my 12 brothers? If he died in a normal battle, my Tai Xian Peak would have nothing to say. But what about your 4C sect? For the sake of a root, more than 20 people besieged our 12th brother. This debt must be settled today. Yang Lei said coldly. Looking at her trembling hair, it was clear that she was very agitated. I'll kill you. Luo Sihai rushed towards Yang Lei, his left hand stabbing towards Yang Lei's chest. Q's latest chapter. Do you have what it takes to fight me? Yang Lei jumped up into the air and moved her lower body back. She reached out with her right hand and slapped forward. At this time, Yang Lei was like a fairy in the sky. She slapped Luo Sihai's left arm, which was holding the sword. Luo Sihai's left arm was shattered into pieces. Bitch! Crazy woman! I'm going to kill you. You won't have it easy even if I die. Luo Sihai roared. His face turned red and his body grew bigger. Self-destruct. Yang Lei retreated in shock. As she retreated, she reached out and grabbed Yi Shang, who was chasing after her. Qing Ji also retreated. When Yang Lei and Aoi moved back 70 to 80 feet, Luo Sihai turned into a pile of minced meat. Even the stone walls and houses on both sides of the alley were blown to pieces. He got lucky. Yang Lei said angrily. Ninth senior sister, is this the person who killed 12th senior brother? Night Sorrow asked. Yes, it's this guy. After the 4C's sect was destroyed, this guy used all of the sect savings to exchange for a wind-chasing butterfly shadow. That's why we haven't been able to catch him all these years. Yang Lei said. If it wasn't for little 13 being smart today, this guy would have escaped again. Qing Ji said to Yi Chang with a smile after she came over. I was able to kill him because of ninth senior sister. Night Sorrow shook his head. If he didn't self-destruct, I would have crippled his 4 limbs and slowly taken care of him. To dare to call me a lowly maid in front of 13, he has truly grown guts. After being scolded, Yang Lei was very displeased. Hee hee. Ninth senior sister, I didn't hear anything. Night Sorrow shook his head. Yes. I'm happy today. Ninth senior sister will treat you to a feast later. Yang Lei patted Night Sorrow's shoulder and said. Just as they were talking, Musher Zhuang and Tang Tian came over. Looking at the pieces of flesh hanging on the wall, the two of them didn't dare to make a sound. They had never seen such a scene before. 13, you were very calm at the crucial moment. The 2 shots you fired were very domineering. Yang Lei patted Night Sorrow's shoulder and said. I'm just a qi refining cultivator. I didn't dare to get close to him. I could only slow him down and let senior sister take care of him. Night Sorrow was used to Yang Lei's personality even though his shoulder was a little numb. Just as they were talking, the Red Flame City's law enforcement team appeared. It was led by Qiu Zhen. Fighting is prohibited in the city. You guys fought in the city without permission. Hand over your weapons and surrender. Qiu Zhen shouted. They came quickly. It's impossible for us to surrender. Call the people who can make decisions in the city here. Yang Lei looked at Qiu Zhen and said. Qiu Zhen was stunned. He knew that the person who dared to speak like that must be a big shot. Just as he didn't know what to do, he saw Night Sorrow. Captain Qiu, don't make it difficult. Let's go and see Vice City Lord Qin. I'll explain to him. Night Sorrow said. He didn't want Qiu Zhen to be embarrassed. Uncle Qiu, these are my martial uncles. They killed the culprit. Let's go to the city lord's residence. Tang Tian said. At this time, Qiu Zhen also saw the golden cauldron embroidered on Yang Lei's skirt. This made him understand that Yang Lei and Aoi's identities were not simple. He could only lead the way. Yang Lei was in a good mood. She hugged Night Sorrow's shoulder and walked forward. As they walked, they chatted. She felt that Night Sorrow was the lucky general of Taishan Peak. He could catch the culprit who had been running for more than 10 years just by having a meal. Qiu Zhen and Tang Tian were also chatting softly. When he found out about Night Sorrow's situation, he was shocked. Initially, he thought that Night Sorrow could enter the Medicine Valley and become an outer sect disciple. Who would have thought that he would become a second-generation disciple of Taishan Peak? In the city lord's residence, Night Sorrow and the others saw Qin Aoshuan and a man in a brocade robe. This is Junior Aoi and Junior Yang Lei. Qin Aoshuan greeted them. He knew the two of them. He had entered the Medicine Valley earlier than the two of them. However, in terms of status in the Medicine Valley, he was far inferior to Aoi and Tang Tian. Otherwise, he would not have become the Vice City Lord of Red Flame City. I remember now. You are the disciple of Uncle Yen of the North Pole Peak. Aoi rubbed her forehead. After thinking for a while, she cupped her hands at Qin Aoshuan. Reporting to the City Lord and Vice City Lord. When I rushed over, the lords of the Medicine Valley had already killed the culprit. Qiu Zhen stepped forward and reported the situation. You are from the Medicine Valley. However, you should not disregard the rules of Red Flame City and kill people. This is Red Flame City, the young man in the brocade robe said. Ha! How dare you set the rules with me? I killed the culprit. What can you do about it? Hearing the man in the brocade robe's rude words, Yang Lei laughed. Then, she directly showed her domineering attitude. Chapter 44. Junior Brother Ji. Qin Aoshuan's expression changed when the man in the brocade robe spoke. He quickly called out to him. Senior Brother Qin, they are messing around in our Red Flame City. Do you think they are in the right? The man in the brocade robe looked at Qin Aoshuan. Junior sisters, I am Qin Aoshuan. This is Ji Haoran, the disciple of the sect's second elder. I don't know the two of you. Please don't take offense if we have offended you. Qin Aoshuan ignored Ji Haoran's words and said to Aoi and Yang Lei. Senior Brother Qin is too serious. However, Ji Haoran, remember this. I am Yang Lei from Taishan Peak. Don't put on airs in front of me. If you make me angry, I will tear down your city lord mansion. I remember that I broke the leg of Elder Ji's disciple. Who can do anything to me? Yang Lei looked at Ji Haoran with disdain. Humph. Ji Haoran snorted and walked away. When he heard Yang Lei say that she was from Taishan Peak, he knew that he could not afford to offend her. His second senior brother was still crippled. It was done by a disciple from Taishan Peak. It was because he said something that he should not have said after Guanyi from Taishan Peak died. Everyone, take a seat. Night Sorrow, Tang Tian, you are here too. It seems that you have entered Taishan Peak. I wonder which senior brother you are under. Qin Aoshuan smiled and greeted Night Sorrow and Tang Tian when he saw them. Disciple Tang Tian. Master is Gong Xian. Tang Tian walked forward and cupped his fist at Qin Aoshuan. Alright, senior brother Gong is one of the best among the second-generation disciples of the Medicine Valley. It is your fortune to be able to join senior brother Gong. Work hard and bring glory to our Red Flame City, Qin Aoshuan said to Tang Tian. Senior brother Qin, this is our junior brother, 13. Come and greet senior brother Qin. Yang Lei introduced Night Sorrow to Qin Aoshuan. Night Sorrow greets Vice City Lord Qin. I also want to thank Vice City Lord Qin for taking care of me back then. Night Sorrow cupped his hands and said to Qin Aoshuan. Qin Aoshuan was stunned. He was worried that he had misheard. But Yang Lei's hand on Night Sorrow's shoulder proved that he didn't hear wrong. Yang Lei wouldn't be so close to a junior. Just call me senior brother. I have to thank you too. Zhen was able to recover because of your help. Also, I would like to express my apologies. My two nephews were not sensible. Qin Aoshuan said awkwardly. He already knew about Qin Hai and Qin Zhan going against Night Sorrow through Qiuzhen. Deputy City Lord, you're being too polite. These are two different things. They are them. Night Sorrow shook his head. Come, let's go to my mansion for a drink. Qin Aoshuan saw that everyone was standing in the mansion and immediately invited them. On the way to Qin Mansion, Qin Aoshuan told them about the situation in Red Flame City. Ji Haoran was the junior of Danding Peak's second elder, Ji Ming. Because of his good potential, Ji Ming didn't care about his seniority and accepted him as a disciple. He came to Red Flame City to be the city lord to increase his qualifications. Night Sorrow and the others also found out that the city lord of Red Flame City had changed many times over the years. The vice city lord had always been Qin Aoshuan. The city lord's position was the place where the second generation of the Medicine Valley's descendants could get their potential. When they arrived at Qin Mansion, Qin Aoshuan and his wife personally received them. Qin Aoshuan also called Yang Sen, Du Chong, Zhang Xuanzong, and Lin Qiao. When he saw the four of them, Night Sorrow expressed his gratitude to them for bringing him to Red Flame City. Update Ji Nu M Most, Fast Amond brother, you're too polite. Didn't you help us too? Congratulations on entering the Medicine Valley. Yang Sen didn't know Night Sorrow's identity, but he knew that Night Sorrow had entered the Medicine Valley. Therefore, he was very happy for Night Sorrow. Thank you for taking care of my junior brother. Here's a toast to you. Also, I want to ask, when you met my junior brother, were there any big cities nearby? Yang Lei asked after toasting to Yang Sen and the others. Let me think, I remember now. We met brother Night Sorrow in Gunnan Town. The closest city to Gunnan Town is Tiannan City. There are a lot of precious golden silk cedar there. That's how the city got its name, Yang Sen said. Yang Lei didn't say anything. She sighed and cupped her hands at Yang Sen before sitting down. Ninth senior sister, what's wrong? Night Sorrow felt that Yang Lei was a little sad. Tiannan City is 12's hometown. You and 12 are from the same place, Yang Lei said. After hearing Yang Lei's words, Qin Aoshuan was very surprised. He knew about Taishan Peak. He was from the same generation as Mo Chen and Guan Yi. He also knew about Guan Ye's accident. Then, Yang Lei smiled and changed the topic. She asked Qin Aoshuan to take care of Tang Tian's family. Junior sister Yang, you might not know about this. Tang Tian's grandfather is an elder in Red Flame City. He's the law-enforcing elder. He's also the outer protector of Medicine Valley. The Tang family is very stable in Red Flame City, Qin Aoshuan said with a smile. Little Tang Tian's family background is not bad. It's not easy for him to not become a playboy, always said as she patted the back of Tang Tian's head. Tang Tian is a good boy in Red Flame City, Qin Aoshuan said with a smile. After the banquet, Qin Aoshuan arranged for the group to stay. He still had to talk to Ji Haoran. If Ji Haoran reported it to the higher-ups, it wouldn't affect him, but it wouldn't be a good thing. In Ji Haoran's mansion, Qin Aoshuan explained the situation. I understand. I'll bear with it. I'll deal with them in the future, Ji Haoran said with a gloomy face. Qin Haoran didn't comment on Ji Haoran's words. However, he understood that even if Ji Haoran had a backer, if he offended Taishan Peak, he would be asking for trouble. After staying in Ji Haoran's mansion for a while, Qin Aoshuan left. After resting for a night in Qin Manor, the group planned to leave the next day. Tang Tian, go back and accompany your family. We'll come and pick you up, Aoi said to Tang Tian after packing up. Then I'll have to trouble the two of you. Tang Tian will wait at home. Tang Tian nodded at Aoi. Hey! You still have a martial uncle here. Yang Lei stretched out her hand and gave Tang Tian a slap. Thank you for your hard work, 13th uncle. Tang Tian pouted. He felt wronged in his heart. Yishang clearly wanted to go home, just like him, all right. However, he couldn't resist because of his seniority. We still have to divide the seniority. All right, go home then. We'll be leaving too. Ma Shizhuang, after you're done with Vice City Lord Qin, come to Tang Tian's house and wait for us, Aoi said with a smile when she saw Tang Tian's expression. At the same time, she also gave Ma Shizhuang some instructions. Ma Shizhuang's hometown, South Sword Town, was under the jurisdiction of Red Flame City. Yang Lei and Aoi handed over Ma Shizhuang's matters to Qin Aoshuan. This was also Qin Aoshuan's responsibility. After leaving Red Flame City, Night Sorrow and the other two got on their mounts and flew toward South Sky City. Night Sorrow and Aoi stood on a green condor. Tianyu flew by himself. This was Aoi's suggestion. Tianyu was still underage and it wasn't good for him to carry so much weight. 13. This is the second time I've been to South Sky City. The first time was to deal with your 12th senior brother Guanye's matter. In the blink of an eye, so many years have passed. Aoi said with some emotion. Chapter 45. Don't worry, I'm fine. South Sky City is a good place, Aoi said with a smile. When we arrive at our village, I'll go to Uncle Nyo's house to get you some wine. Uncle Nyo's wine isn't as fragrant as your azure blood wine, but it's strong enough. I used to bring Uncle Nyo's wine when I went hunting. Night Sorrow was very happy that they were going back to Bamboo Garden Village. Is that how you trained your alcohol tolerance? Aoi asked with a smile. When I was young, I ran around in the village. When I went to Uncle Nyo's house, Uncle Nyo would give me a bowl of wine to drink. When I went to Auntie Lin's house, Auntie Lin would measure my body and make clothes for me. Uncle Li would use a piece of wood to make weapons for me. However, he died in battle a few years ago when a demonic beast came to seek revenge. Yi Shan sighed. That's life. 13. How about this? Let's go to your senior brother Guanye's house first and then go to Bamboo Garden Village. Aoi looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Okay, I'm not in a hurry. Night Sorrow nodded. The two azure condors were very fast. Tianyu didn't need to carry Night Sorrow, so it was easy for him to fly. After resting for a night, the three arrived at South Sky City. They didn't continue flying into the city but landed at a place called South Sky Town. After putting away the azure condors and Tianyu, Night Sorrow and the other two came to a quaint courtyard in the town and knocked on the door. Your little Ye's senior sister? Come in and have a seat. A very kind old woman with white hair led Yang Lei, Aoi, and Night Sorrow into the courtyard. Auntie, how's the family? Aoi asked. Very good. Little Ye's senior brother comes often. He came a few days ago. Don't you know? The old woman said. 11 came. Aoi and Yang Lei looked at each other. Has he left? Yang Lei asked. I don't know. He left us some money and left. But according to the past, he would have stayed in front of Xiao Ye's grave for a few days. The old woman wiped the corner of her eyes and said. Bowing to the old woman, Aoi pulled Yang Lei and Night Sorrow out of the courtyard and headed out of the town. 11:00 at 12's graveyard. Yang Lei asked Aoi. After Guan Ye's death, Mo Qin and Yang Lei had sent his body back to his hometown for burial. Aoi didn't say anything. She wanted to see Mo Qin and tell him that Luo Sihai was dead. She didn't need to chase after Luo Sihai anymore, but she was also worried that she wouldn't be able to see him. MC, it's on the M edition of Chapter B. The three of them left the town, and walked for 5 or 6 miles. They then entered the mountainous region, and entered a canyon after a while. After entering the canyon, Qing Ji and Yang Lei's footsteps slowed down because they could clearly see the situation inside the canyon. At the end of the canyon was a grave. A sword was stabbed into the ground next to the grave, and a man in black clothes was sitting cross-legged next to the sword. There were a lot of wine jars next to the man. 11. Yang Lei yelled when she saw the man. The man turned around. He looked up with his head lowered. He couldn't get used to the sunlight, so he covered his eyes with his hands. Night Sorrow noticed that the man was a bit sloppy. His hair was messy, and his chin and lips were full of black stubble. It seemed like he hadn't shaved for a long time. Get up. What do you look like now? Aoi grabbed the man's collar and lifted him up. 6th senior sister, I'm useless. I've been looking for Luo Sihai for more than 10 years. I either couldn't find him, or he ran away. If it was 12, he would have succeeded long ago, the man in black clothes, Mo Qin, said dejectedly. Listen to me. Luo Sihai is dead. Pull yourself together. Yang Lei stepped forward and slapped the man in black clothes on the neck. 9th senior sister, what did you say? Mo Qin's body shook. He stood up straight and asked Yang Lei. Luo Sihai is dead. 2 days ago, with the help of 13th junior brother, Luo Sihai was heavily injured by 9th senior sister. He self-destructed in the end, Aoi said. Luo Sihai's movement technique is very strong. Did you really kill him? Mo Qin asked emotionally. Yes, he self-destructed. 13, come and meet your 11th senior brother, Mo Qin. Yang Lei pulled Night Sorrow to her side and said. Night Sorrow greets senior brother Mo Qin. Night Sorrow cupped his hands. 13. Master has accepted another disciple? Mo Qin looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Yes, he is also the last disciple. Look at you, what kind of example are you setting for your junior brother? Yang Lei frowned and said. She was very dissatisfied with Mo Qin's dispirited state. I'll go pack up and come back. Mo Qin whistled and a huge golden flying demonic beast appeared. Mo Qin rode it and left. It was his flying tamed beast, the golden-winged eagle. He must be under a lot of pressure. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so dispirited. Aoi sighed and said. Night Sorrow and the other two stayed in the cemetery for a while. Night Sorrow also went up to pay his respects. Although they had never met, he was still his 12th senior brother. After 15 minutes, Mo Qin came back. He looked completely different. He had taken a bath and changed into a clean robe. Although his hair was still loose, it was no longer messy. His beard was also shaved. Well, that's more like it. Aoi said with a smile. 12th senior brother, I will help you take revenge. I won't come to accompany you often in the future. Mo-chan cupped his hands at the tombstone. The four of them didn't ride their flying demonic beasts. Instead, they walked into the array. Aoi also told Mo-chan about what happened in the past few months and the process of chasing Luo Sihai. I found Luo Sihai twice in the past few years, but his movement technique was too fast and too strange. He just didn't want to fight. I couldn't do anything about it. Mo-chan sighed and said. Yeah, if it wasn't for 13's quick thinking, it would be a problem for us to catch up with him. Yang Lei nodded. She also saw how difficult it was to deal with Luo Sihai. By the way, senior sisters, why are you here? Mo-chan was a little surprised. He didn't think that Aoi and Yang Lei were looking for him. In the past, he had spent half a year outside, cultivating while looking for clues about Luo Sihai. The people of Taishan Peak were used to it. 13's hometown is also in the vicinity of South Sky City. We sent him back, so we stopped by. Yang Lei said. After returning to the town, Mo-chan and Aoi left some gold notes for the old lady. They also told the old lady that if she had any problems, she could go to the mayor. Mo-chan specifically went to the mayor for this matter. After dealing with this, the four of them rode their flying demonic beasts and flew toward South Sky City. They entered South Sky City and went directly to the mayor's mansion. Mo-cho had met the mayor a few times before, so he directly told him the purpose of his visit. I didn't expect that there would be 2 disciples of Taishan Peak in South Sky City. Senior uncles, don't worry, I will take care of this matter. However, it will be a bit troublesome to set up a permanent resident in Juyuan village. Mayor Zhao Qing hesitated for a moment before saying. Juyuan village may be small, but it will be fine with some construction. In the future, the smallest scale will be a town. We need to open up a caravan and medicine shop. Mo-chan looked at Zhao Qing and said. I will do my best. This matter needs to be reported and approved. Zhao Qing hesitated for a moment before saying. There were some things that he couldn't decide. Chapter 46. Then there's no problem here. I'll send people to Juyuan village immediately. Zhao Qing nodded. With Yang Lei supporting him, he wasn't worried anymore. Our Taishan summit has been paying close attention to Qingnan town and Juyuan town. You have to deal with them well. If you leave one day, you have to tell your successor that if there are any problems in these 2 towns, he will lose his head. Mo-chan told Zhao Qing again while looking at him. After that, the 4 of them left the city lord's mansion. They rode on the flying beasts and headed towards Juyuan village. The 4 of them took less than a day to reach Juyuan village from Tiannan City. When the 4 flying beasts stopped at the entrance of the village, the villagers sounded their horns. Following that, many people rushed out. There were men and women, old and young, and all of them had weapons in their hands. Everyone, don't do anything. Dad, it's me. Knight Sorrow hurriedly shouted when he saw the villagers of Juyuan village rushing over with no regard for their lives. Stop! Father Gu, who was in the crowd, shouted. Knight Sorrow walked to Father Gu and bowed slightly. Dad, I'm back. Knight Sorrow, you're back. Did it not go smoothly in Medicine Valley? Father Gu frowned. It went smoothly. These are my senior brothers and sisters. Those beasts are our flying beasts. There's no danger. Knight Sorrow said to Father Gu and the surrounding villagers. Father Gu waved his hand at the surrounding villagers. Then, he brought Knight Sorrow, Aoi, and the rest back to his bamboo house. He even asked Auntie Lin and the rest to prepare the meal. What a peaceful village. The villagers are simple and unadorned. Yang Lei looked at the busy villagers inside. Yes, the villagers are very friendly. There's no fighting and scheming. I like it. Aoi also said. Forever, forever, free to see. Small Night Sorrow told Father Gu about what had happened in the past few months. He also told Father Gu that Zhuyuan village would be under the protection of Medicine Valley. This place would be built into Zhuyuan town. That's great. This way, our bamboo garden village won't have to fear the invasion of demonic beasts. Old Man Gu said excitedly. Dad, it's Zhuyuan town, not Zhuyuan village, Aoi said with a smile when she heard her father's words. Sirs, Night Sorrow is still young and doesn't know much. I'll have to trouble you, Papa Gu said to Aoi and the others. Father, what are you talking about? Night Sorrow is our junior brother, so we should take care of him. Don't call us lords, just call us by our names. I'm Aoi, this is my 9th junior sister, Yang Lei, and my 11th junior brother, Mo Chin, Aoi said to Papa Gu. As they chatted, Auntie Lin and the others prepared the dishes. They even roasted a few pheasants. Uncle Nyo even brought over a few jars of wine. Looking at Aoi and Mo Chen's puzzled eyes, Gugu's father told them about Night Sorrow's situation. 13's cultivation talent is indisputable. This is related to the family's inheritance and bloodline. Let 13 investigate this slowly in the future, Aoi said. Standing in front of the tombstones, Night Sorrow offered a glass of wine to the 2 graves. I will work hard to cultivate. In the future, I will definitely find out who you are to me. No matter who you are to me, I will avenge you. Looking at the tombstones, Night Sorrow touched the scar on his waist again. If it wasn't for the people in the graves, the scar might have been on his heart. After standing for a while, Night Sorrow returned to the courtyard to drink with Gugu's father, Mo Chin, Uncle Nyo, and the others. The villagers of Bamboo Garden Village were all happy for Night Sorrow. At the same time, they knew that the fate of Bamboo Garden Village was about to change. They were all overjoyed. Night Sorrow, you are the pride of our Bamboo Garden Village. In the future, if you are not happy outside, come back. Uncle Nyo looked at Night Sorrow and said. He had drunk a little too much. Night Sorrow could only nod vigorously. Everything in Bamboo Garden Village was in his memory. When he was young, he was naughty and ran around the village, but no one scolded him or scolded him. Every family gave him the warmth of a family. The drinking lasted until midnight. Aoi and Yang Lei went to Night Sorrow's room to rest. Uncle Nyo pulled Mo Chin to his house to rest. Night Sorrow went to Gugu's father's room. He chatted with Gugu's father for more than 2 hours. Gugu's father wanted to know everything about Night Sorrow. In the end, he fell asleep because he drank a little too much. After waking up, Night Sorrow habitually practiced martial arts in the courtyard. After Aoi and Yang Lei woke up, Night Sorrow fetched water for them to wash their faces. 6th senior sister, look. 13 is still the most considerate. Which of the other junior brothers has fetched water for us to wash our faces? Yang Lei said as she washed her face. 9th senior sister, don't talk behind people's backs. It's not like I don't have the chance. Mo Chin appeared. Today's Mo Chin was completely different from yesterday. After waking up, Mo Chin was refreshed and his dispirited state was swept away. Chapter 47. When everyone was ready for breakfast, people from South Sky City arrived. Some were permanent residents, some were people from the Chamber of Commerce and medicine stores, and some were construction workers. South Sky City even sent a mayor, but in Yang Lei's place, the mayor was directly promoted to a deputy mayor. Father Gu's position as mayor was also directly confirmed. The vice mayor didn't complain at all. When he came, South Sky City's city lord told him to behave himself in Bamboo Garden Town. If he caused trouble, his head would be cut off. Yang Lei was also interested in the construction of Bamboo Garden Town. She brought the vice mayor and came up with a plan for Bamboo Garden Town. Under Yang Lei's plan, Bamboo Garden Village became Bamboo Garden Town, which was more than 20 times larger than before. Aoi also emphasized that they weren't allowed to take advantage of the villagers during the construction. They had to pay for the land, and it also depended on the villagers' wishes. The vice mayor knew that Yang Lei and the others were important figures, so he completely obeyed. After staying in Bamboo Garden Village for 3 days and seeing that the construction was on track, Yang Lei and the others also planned to leave. After all, Night Sorrow's cultivation was a big matter and couldn't be delayed. Although they didn't want to leave, Night Sorrow knew it was time for them to go back. Hearing that Night Sorrow and the others were leaving, Uncle Nyo pulled Night Sorrow and the others to his house. His courtyard was filled with wine jars. Night Sorrow, I don't know when you'll come back next time. I know you like the wine brewed with the big tree. Take as much as you can. It's best if you take all of it. Uncle Nyo, then I won't be polite with you. I have a storage belt. Night Sorrow patted his storage belt and said. Night Sorrow, Uncle will be happy if you can take all of it. Mo Chin, you guys take it too. Uncle Nyo said with a smile. Night Sorrow didn't hold back and directly filled his storage belt with wine, filling up a dozen jars. Mo Chin didn't hold back and directly took a lot. When Uncle Nyo wasn't paying attention, Mo Chin flicked a gold note into the bamboo house and stuck it on the wall. However, Night Sorrow noticed it. He pretended not to see it. If he said that he was going to buy it with money, Uncle Bull would definitely be angry and might even fall out with him. However, if he didn't take the money, Mo Chin might feel bad in his heart. This was the best outcome. Night Sorrow, I don't know if I'll have the chance to make clothes for you in the future. These clothes aren't as good as the clothes in the city, but they're made of pure hemp. They're comfortable to wear. You can wear the top 2 sets now, and you can wear the bottom one after you've grown up. Madam Lin took out a stack of clothes and handed it to Night Sorrow. Thank you, Auntie. Auntie, you have to take care of yourself. I love your chicken soup. When I was young, I often drank it with Little Tiger. I will come back to drink it again in the future. Night Sorrow's eyes were a little moist. Little Tiger was Madam Lin's son. In Madam Lin's eyes, Night Sorrow and Little Tiger were treated the same. Alright, it's not like Night Sorrow won't come back. You guys look after the buildings in the village. I'll send them off, Father Goose said. Night Sorrow and the rest left Bamboo Garden Village amidst the villagers waving their hands to send them off. Night Sorrow, you'll have to rely on yourself in the future, Father Goose said after sending them off for a few miles. I will. Father, take this gold note. Madam Lin's family isn't rich, but she made a few sets of clothes for me. Uncle Nyo also made some. Also, you don't have to go hunting anymore. Night Sorrow took out the gold note that Qin Aoshuan gave him and handed it to Father Gu. Alright, it's rare for you to be so considerate. It's not easy for them either. Father Gu didn't look at the amount of gold note and directly stuffed it into his clothes. He knew that Night Sorrow wouldn't have to worry about money in the future, so he didn't refuse. After bowing to Father Gu, Night Sorrow turned around and got on Tianyu's back. Then, he rode on Tianyu and took off. 9 megawatts 2G forever my free hashtag, VAOC little dollar, SAY Aoi and the rest rode on the green condor and golden winged eagle and followed beside Night Sorrow. 13. Don't worry. The mountain bandits won't dare to appear in places protected by Medicine Valley. This is the territory of Yun Haifeng. When we go back, we just need to inform Yun Haifeng. Everything will be fine, Chen said to Night Sorrow, who was still looking at them. I know. I'm a little reluctant to leave the place where I've lived for more than 10 years, Night Sorrow said. Aoi and the rest didn't say anything. They had all experienced this before. This time, they didn't stop at South Sky City. Instead, they headed straight for Red Flame City. When Chen heard that all 10 of his senior brothers and sisters had disciples, he was a little unwilling. Sixth senior sister, if I were here, eldest senior brother wouldn't have gotten 2 disciples. I lost out on this trip, Chen said gloomily while sitting on the golden-winged eagle. Master said that our Taishan Peak is starting to recruit new people. Next year, we'll let Master go again. If Master doesn't go, we'll go and fight for it, Yang Lei said. I think that's a good idea. 13. You have to put in some effort in this newcomer competition and spread the name of our Taishan Peak. Tell others that our Taishan Peak doesn't make a move, but when we do, it's earth-shattering. Aoi looked at Night Sorrow and said. She was worried that carrying the weight for a long time wouldn't be good for Tianyu's growth, so she let Night Sorrow ride with her. I will. Unless I fall, no one will be able to destroy the momentum of Taishan Peak with me, Night Sorrow said with a nod. A few days later, they arrived at Red Flame City. After picking up Ma Zhuang and Tang Tian, they left immediately. They didn't delay in Red Flame City. After leaving Red Flame City, they didn't go straight to Medicine Valley. Instead, they went to Fallen Leaf Mountain in Dan Ding Mountain. Gong Xian went to Fallen Leaf Mountain. Since they didn't have anything to do, they decided to go there and take a look. The main reason was that this matter had caused a sensation in Medicine Valley. People from all the peaks in Medicine Valley went there. In less than 3 days, they were close to Fallen Leaf Mountain. 6th Martial Uncle, how are we going to find my great martial uncle and master? Ma Zhuang, who was more impatient, asked. I don't know their exact location. Let the green condor fly in the sky. Your great martial uncle will know that we are here when he sees the green condor. He will inform us, Aoi said. After entering Fallen Leaf Mountain, Aoi let the green condor fly in the sky. Night Sorrow got off the green condor's back and got on Tianyu's back. Tianyu, you know my great martial uncle. Let's look here. After flying for half an hour in Fallen Leaf Mountain, the green condor flew over a canyon and whistled. Aoi and Yang Lei rode the green condor and landed. Night Sorrow rode Tianyu and followed behind. After landing in the canyon, Night Sorrow saw that there were many people in the canyon. Taishan Peak's Huanan was confronting someone. You are all here. 11 is back too. Very good, Gong Xian nodded when he saw Aoi and the others. Then, he continued to observe the situation. This is Dan Ding Mountain. It is impossible for Tianyue Peak and Wangyun Peak to occupy this place, Huanan said to the blue-robed man opposite him. Huanan, this is Dan Ding Mountain, not Taishan Peak. It is not up to you to decide. Luo Daoyuan, who was wearing a green robe, came to the blue-robed man's side. Luo Daoyuan, do you think you can do it now? Come at me if you can. I am standing right here. Today, no one can enter this formation. Huanan waved his arm and a long sword appeared in his hand. Chapter 48. Eldest Senior Brother, Second Senior Brother. Aoi led Yang Lei and the others to Gong Xian and Wuqi's side. You're here. 11 is back too. Very good. Gong Xian smiled and nodded at them. Eldest Senior Brother, what's the matter? Yang Lei asked. With Gong Xian's answer, everyone understood what was going on. When Gong Xian arrived, the first thing he saw was the golden lion beast. He followed the golden lion beast through the natural formation and arrived here. There was a concealing formation here. After Gong Xian broke the concealing formation, the people from Greenstone Peak wanted to enter. Gong Xian didn't let them, so they fought. However, they were pushed back by Gong Xian. Then, the people from Tianyue Peak and Wangyun Peak arrived. Luo Daoyuan, the people from Taishan Peak are here today. If you want to enter, why don't you try? Yang Lei stepped forward and stood beside Luo Daoyuan. What? Do you think Taishan Peak has more people? Now that the people from all the other peaks are here, do you think Taishan Peak can monopolize it? Luo Daoyuan sneered. How did the Medicine Valley produce such a despicable person like you? If you have the ability, then come. Why push the other peaks out? Yang Lei looked at Luo Daoyuan with disdain. Yang Lei, who are you scolding? Luo Daoyuan was embarrassed to be called a despicable person by Yang Lei in front of so many people. Yes, I'm scolding you. What? Are you going to bite me? Yang Lei didn't give Luo Daoyuan any face. Yang Lei, you've gone too far. Senior brother Luo entered the sect much earlier than you. He's still a senior brother, Lu Jing, who was wearing a blue robe, said as he glanced at the red-faced Luo Daoyuan. Lu Jing, don't pretend to be a gentleman. My eldest senior brother broke the formation. You want to enter? Have some shame. Yang Lei didn't give Lu Jing any face. After being scolded by Yang Lei, Lu Jing didn't say anything. The situation was in a stalemate. Now, almost all the 12 peaks in the Medicine Valley had arrived, except for Qingshi Peak, which had been driven away by Gong Xian. However, none of the peaks were willing to fight against Taishan Peak. After all, the disciples of Taishan Peak were difficult to deal with, and Yu Yangyu was extremely protective of his disciples. Let's discuss the best way to settle this. There's no point in this stalemate, right? A white-robed man stood out from the crowd of Danding Peak. Li Chen, scram. You're just like your senior brother. If you want to discuss, let that be *** Chu Ling Shao do it. Seeing the Danding Peak people coming out, Aoi started scolding them. Li Chen rubbed his nose and retreated. He knew that Aoi and Chu Ling Shao had a huge grudge. Senior brother Gong, no one knows what's going on in this hidden formation. Let's check it out together. If there are any resources, how about Taishan Peak take the lion's share? A man from Yunhai Peak spoke up. After being blocked by Gong Xian and seeing that they couldn't enter the concealing formation behind him, Dai Tongnian didn't want to waste any more time. Then you'll have to step over the corpses of us. Aoi waved her arm and a long sword appeared in her hand. Knight Sorrow also took out his reincarnation spear. Although his strength was low, Knight Sorrow still wanted to fight. This was the honor of Taishan Peak. Suddenly, a figure appeared and sent a palm strike towards Dai Tongnian. Dai Tongnian countered with a palm strike of his own. Bang! With a muffled sound, Dai Tongnian's body was pushed back. His face was red, and it was obvious that he was injured. You, Dai Tongnian, don't have the right to discipline my disciple on my behalf. The figure that appeared was none other than the peak master of Taishan Peak, Yu Yangyu. Yu Yangyu, you've gone too far. Dai Tongnian pointed at Yu Yangyu with a trembling arm. He was obviously at a disadvantage just now. You know what happened. If anyone dares to bully a disciple of Taishan Peak, I won't be polite. Yu Yangyu snorted coldly. It was because Yang Lei had crushed the protective jade tablet that Yu Yangyu had given her that Yu Yangyu had rushed over in time. Ignoring Dai Tongnian, Yu Yangyu turned around and looked at the hidden array formation that had been broken. Then, he said, the spirit qi that leaked out has evil qi. It's not suitable to go in and investigate. Otherwise, this king wouldn't have laid down this array formation. Master, have you been here before? Gong Xian asked. Master came here more than 10 years ago. This may be the connection point of a different space, but it is extremely unstable. If a spirit-severing stage cultivator enters, it will cause the space to collapse. As for the situation inside, let's talk about it later. Yu Yangyu took out some spirit stones and put them into the ground to repair the hidden array formation. Fog rose in the canyon. Then, Yu Yangyu pressed his finger between his eyebrows and sent a white light into the array formation. Master has left a soul imprint. As long as someone touches this array formation, Master will know. Yang Lei said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded. He was very shocked. This was a heaven-defying method. Chapter 49. Yu Yangyu, aren't you being too overbearing? Do you really want to take over this place? Dai Tongnian said angrily. This is the connecting passage to the alternate dimension. If it collapses, can you bear the consequences? Besides, so what if I take over? Yu Yangyu turned to look at Dai Tongnian, completely disregarding him. I will find the Valley Master and the Great Elder to uphold justice. Dai Tongnian waved his sleeves and left. Listen up, no one is allowed to set foot in this place. If you are dissatisfied, go to your master or the Valley Master. However, if you dare to enter without permission, I will not be lenient. Gong Xian, Wu Qi, bring your junior brothers and martial nephews back. After giving his instructions, Yu Yangyu's body flashed and left. What kind of speed is that? It's much faster than flying monsters. Looking at the direction Yu Yangyu left, Ma Shizhuang said with some surprise. He could not even close his mouth. Flying monsters are no longer needed. Tang Tian was also a little emotional. When one's cultivation reaches a certain level, there is indeed no need for monsters to travel short distances. Wu Qi said to Tang Tian and Ma Shizhuang. Where did you meet 11? Seeing that the people from the other peaks had left, Gong Xian asked Aoi and Yang Lei. In 12's hometown. Big senior brother, this time we did something big. Yang Lei said with some excitement. It's good enough that you don't cause trouble when you go out. Something big. Gong Xian said with a smile. Really, 6th senior sister, 13, and I worked together to kill Luo Sihai. 12's hatred is completely over. Yang Lei said as she waved her fist in front of her. Really? This is a good thing. We don't have to worry about this in the future. However, didn't we get the news that Luo Sihai cultivated the phantom body technique? It's very difficult to catch him. Hearing this news, Gong Xian was very happy. Indeed, if 13 wasn't smart enough to slow him down with Tianyu, he would have escaped. Yang Lei said as she patted Night Sorrow's shoulder. 0 yong 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 yong. Look, little R says Biang Lei told Gong Xian, Wu Qi, and Hua Nan about the process of killing Luo Sihai. If he didn't self-destruct, 13, Gong Xian said with a smile. 13, let's have a drink. When we go back, let's have a drink. Let's have a drink. B. T. Eldest senior brother, you've taken 2 disciples this time. If you accept new disciples next year, don't take them. Give me your share. Mo Chen said to Gong Xian. No problem. Let's go. We're going back. Under Gong Xian's command, everyone got on their flying mounts and left. When they returned to Taishan Peak, they went directly to the Taishan Hall to see Yu Yangyu. In the hall, Yu Yangyu and Tai Tsang were drinking tea. Master, aren't you worried that the older generation of the other peaks will go there and cause trouble? Wu Qi asked Yu Yangyu. That's possible, but it doesn't matter. Someone will definitely report what happened today to the Valley Master and the Grand Elder. When the time comes, the Valley Master and the Grand Elder will send someone to watch over it. Our Tai Xian Peak won't have to worry. 13. How is your family? Lu Yangyu asked Yishang after he finished talking about the alternate space. Everything is fine. Thank you for your concern. Knight Sorrow bowed. He felt touched. He could feel Yu Yangyu's concern. Master, the houses of 12 and 13 are very close to each other. I have already told the South Sky City Lord. Later, I will let eldest senior brother and Yun Haifeng take care of them. Yang Lei stepped forward and reported. 12. AI. When 12 was mentioned, Yu Yangyu sighed and turned his head to the side. It was a pain in his heart. Seeing Yu Yangyu sad, Yang Lei directly told him about killing Luo Sihai. Yu Yangyu turned his head and looked at Knight Sorrow and the others. This matter has finally come to an end. 13. When you have time to go back to your hometown, go to 12th senior brother's house and see if there's anything you need help with. Yu Yangyu told Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow nodded. He would have done it even if Yu Yangyu didn't say it. When you go back, teach your disciples well. If you can do it, then participate in this year's competition. If you don't participate, then show some face. This time, you've offended all the peaks, so you'll have to offend them even more. Yu Yangyu said to Gong Xian and the others. Halfway through, Yu Yangyu stood up. A moment after Yu Yangyu stood up, an old man in sackcloth appeared at the entrance of Tai Xian Hall. The old man was holding a silver cane. Grand Elder, you've come. Yu Yangyu and Tai Tsung bowed to the old man. How could I not come? What the hell are you doing? Dai Tongyan, Yuan Tai, and Jean Can all came to complain about you. The old man didn't move, but Knight Sorrow felt that the old man casually took a step and then casually found a seat in the hall and sat down. Only people with no ability would complain. Hearing someone complain, Tai Tsung said with dissatisfaction. Nonsense, but it's also true. Yangyu, how much do you know about that place? The Grand Elder looked at Tai Tsung and asked. Yu Yangyu directly told his judgment to the old man in sackcloth. Cultivators above the severed soul stage can't enter. This is a difficult problem. High-level cultivators can't enter, but low-level cultivators aren't safe. Let's do it this way. The old man in sackcloth thought for a moment and said. Grand Elder, I can't do that. I've arranged a formation to hide it for more than 10 years. That place is our Taishian Peak's territory. Next year, we'll open it to disciples. Where will our Taishian Peak find core condensation disciples? Yu Yangyu heard the old man in sackcloth's words and suddenly became unwilling. A bit petty, but what you said is reasonable. Then we'll give your Taishian Peak some time. The year after next. You can use that place as a trial site, right? A year and a half. The old man in sackcloth said with a smile. Then it's settled. Grand Elder, send someone to guard it. Yu Yangyu nodded and also threw out the responsibility. By the way, I heard from Sui Yun that you've accepted a new disciple, and it's your last disciple. Why don't you let me take a look? The old man in sackcloth tapped the ground with his walking stick and asked. 13. This is our Medicine Valley's Grand Elder. He's also your master's martial uncle. If it wasn't because he was worried about the Medicine Valley, he would have already gone to the worship tower. Yu Yangyu said to Knight Sorrow. Disciple Knight Sorrow greets Grand Elder. Knight Sorrow walked out from Yang Lei's side and bowed to the old man in sackcloth. You're full of spirit and vitality. You're a good seedling. This is a dragon bone pill. Consider it my gift to you. Looking at Knight Sorrow, the old man nodded with satisfaction and then threw a jade bottle to Knight Sorrow. Chapter 50. Looking at Night Sorrow, the old man nodded in satisfaction. Then, he tossed a jade bottle to Night Sorrow. You're full of vitality and vigor. You're a good seedling. Here's a dragon bone pill. Take it as a greeting gift from me to you. Other than Yang Lei, everyone else looked at the small bottle in Night Sorrow's hand enviously. In the current era, a weak physique was the weakness of a cultivator. Therefore, Yang Lei was the only one in the Taishan Peak who had cultivated the heaven-covering hand. This was related to Yang Lei's talent. However, the reason why Yang Lei was able to cultivate the heaven-covering hand to the cloud-flipping hand realm was because she had consumed a dragon bone pill. Thank you, Great Elder. Night Sorrow cupped his hands to the old man again to express his gratitude. The old man smiled at Night Sorrow and left. 13. You've struck gold. In the Taishan Peak, only your 9th senior sister has consumed a dragon bone pill. Master even asked for it from the Great Elder. Aoi looked at Night Sorrow and said with a smile. The Great Elder refined a cauldron of dragon bone pills back in the Medicine Valley. What about you guys? Your physiques aren't strong enough. Even if you consumed a dragon bone pill, it would be difficult for you to cultivate the heaven-covering hand. Yu explained. He wasn't biased towards Yang Lei. He just felt that Yang Lei had potential in terms of her physique. The disciples understand. Since the Great Elder gave 13 a dragon bone pill, it means that 13 has potential in this area, Gong Xian said. He and the others understood Yu on this point. Following this, Night Sorrow learned about how precious the dragon bone pill was from Yang Lei. The dragon bone pill's main ingredient was the bones of a winged flood dragon, which was extremely rare. It had been many years since a winged flood dragon had appeared. When Yu saw that Night Sorrow was interested in alchemy, he explained, 13, there are 2 paths to cultivation in the Medicine Valley. One is to cultivate Xian Gong, and the other is to refine pills. However, I think it's better for you to cultivate Xian Gong. Master, can I practice mysterious arts while studying alchemy? Night Sorrow asked. It's fine if you have such an idea. Many cultivators also study some unorthodox disciplines. Some study alchemy, some study artifact forging, and some study array formations. However, there must be a distinction between primary and secondary. Don't place too much emphasis on both. In the end, neither is better than the other. Yu reminded Night Sorrow. Disciple understands. Night Sorrow nodded. He understood what Yu meant. Your eldest senior brother's alchemy skills aren't very good. Among my disciples, your 6th senior sister's alchemy skills are quite good. Do you want to follow me to Jingxin Cliff or your 6th senior sister's Bamboo Grove house? Yu asked for Night Sorrow's opinion. Master, 13 will definitely be nervous and unaccustomed to following you. It's better for him to follow me. Aoi said with a smile. Yu nodded with a smile. He also understood that Night Sorrow could be more casual in front of his senior brothers and senior sister and would be restrained if he followed him. Therefore, he agreed to Aoi's suggestion and told Gong Xian that the resource warehouse of Taishan Peak was open to Night Sorrow. This made Gong Xian and the others extremely envious. 13. I also wanted to refine pills in the past, but Master only allowed me to use the level 1 materials in the warehouse. Yang Lei slapped Night Sorrow's shoulder heavily. You? Aren't you embarrassed? How many materials did you waste? Yu glared at Yang Lei. Yang Lei rolled her eyes and didn't say anything. She knew she didn't have the talent. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow followed Aoi to the Bamboo Grove house. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation, 13, Senior Sister's servants are all servants. I'll arrange a few pretty ones for you, but don't mess around. Aoi said after entering the bamboo grove house. Sixth senior sister, don't joke with me. I can take care of myself. Night Sorrow's face was a little red. Aoi arranged a bamboo building for Night Sorrow, then went to the resource hall to get a pill furnace and some level 1 materials for Night Sorrow. For the next few days, Night Sorrow practiced the myriad Tao tome and sacred cauldron scripture at night. During the day, he practiced the Jinyu hand and wind spear arts. Afterwards, Aoi would teach him about alchemy. After seeing Night Sorrow practice the Jinyu hand and wind spear arts, Aoi was very shocked. Heaven covering hand was the ultimate skill of the Medicine Valley. This was something all the disciples of the Medicine Valley knew. However, there were too few people who could practice it. Even if they reached the 3rd stage or core condensation stage, they still couldn't practice it. Now, Night Sorrow was able to practice the extremely difficult rank 2 battle skill of the Medicine Valley. How could Aoi not be shocked? Aoi also found it hard to accept that Night Sorrow practiced the wind spear arts. The wind spear arts was a rank 2 battle skill. Not only could Night Sorrow practice it, but the wind spear arts completely changed Night Sorrow. Its power was several times stronger than before. This was because Night Sorrow's cultivation was still low. Once Night Sorrow's cultivation increased, even Aoi couldn't estimate the power of the wind spear arts. No wonder Master, who hasn't accepted a disciple for so many years, accepted you. You are too abnormal. This was the first time Aoi saw Night Sorrow practice the wind spear arts and concluded. Aoi was also confident that Night Sorrow would participate in the rookie competition.